We are live.
We're finally live.
Right.
And it's actually somewhat ready for this one.
Yes, prepared.
Because we're not going, are we live? I think we're live.
Yes,
Yeah, we're live.
not asking ourselves stupid questions, not looking at each other with, wait, we're live, and then saying dumb things that get us banned.
Right?
Or at
You
least,
should probably come my way a little bit, just looking at the screen. Sorry, I didn't cut you
I
out.
don't want to snuggle.
No, I don't want to snuggle out. There you go. Now you're in.
Does that make it better?
Now you're better in the
Apparently we were less ready.
That's right.
Whatever. Hey, welcome to another episode of the Northwest Brewmeisters, two guys from the Pacific Northwest who like beer.
I think you should too.
I'm Jamey,
I'm Steve.
and I'm pretty sure I scrambled that up. Hey, it's like an intro casserole. You never know what you're going to get. You know, potatoes and onions and mushrooms and bananas. Just throw it in there.
Yeah.
Mayonnaise on top, you're good.
It's not like we're scripted or anything, so I mean.
No, definitely not. We probably should be. It might be better. All right. So as always, we're beering two brews.
Beering two brews.
This is a really good beer you made, apparently.
Kicking in already, huh?
Yeah, I've been here what, about an hour or so. All right. Go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and share the broadcast. So you go ahead and tell the good people what you're gonna brew.
All right, first I'm going to mention what I'm drinking. This is a double IPA, also known as Imperial IPA. It's not my recipe. It's one of the recipes our brew suppliers provide. I think I've done this one once before, but I really like the way this one came out. It's pretty strong. It's like 8.1% ABV on it, 8.2. It's a good one. Yeah. Definitely one you don't want to take lightly after you had a few. Don't drive. If you
Don't
had a
drive.
couple of these,
Find a DD.
We're also going to be drinking on the Resurrection Ale, which that one is one of my own recipes. I made that. So yummy. So yummy. Off my head, I can't remember the little changes I made, but I did some minor tweaks to it just to see if I was going to like it. I like the way it came out. I do have it noted down, but I'm not going to sit there and dig through the notes to try to tell you. But just know I did make some changes, and they're positive. So
Have you ever heard the term, if it ain't broke, don't fix it?
it's not what I want though. So I'm making slight little changes to it.
Every day, terror. I live in terror now.
So that's what we're drinking, and what's poured right now is an IPA, and we'll drink some English strong ale here throughout the episode. What I'm brewing today is an Oktoberfest / Marzen. As most of you probably know, it's a German style lager. I know Oktoberfest is technically over because we're actually in October, and the real Oktoberfest is celebrated during September. But I thought, what the hey, let's have some fun.
And it's only celebrated in Munich.
In Munich, yeah.
Right.
At least the big festival, I guess.
Or all of the United States.
Yeah.
Munich, Germany, and then all of the United States.
Yeah, I think Americans celebrate Oktoberfest more than Germans do. Same with Cinco de Mayo. I think
Actually,
Americans celebrate it more than people in Mexico do.
That's not a think thing. That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Americans celebrate harder on Cinco de Mayo than the Mexicans do. It is a bigger holiday here than it is in the
over
country
Mexico,
that it's
yeah,
supposed to
where it
be.
originated, yeah.
But we're Americans, an excuse to party. They invented the toothpick on this day. Woo!
Big beer!
Little cocktail weenies, because toothpicks.
Yeah, toothpicks.
All right, continue on.
I'll tell you what's in my kit.
With your seasonally incorrect beer.
All right. Again, this is not my recipe. This is one of the recipe kits from our brew suppliers. October Marzen, smooth, clean, and rather rich with a depth of malt character. So, pretty much like I did Oktoberfest. It should be pretty good, and it should come out with a deep gold color. Original gravity 1.056, final gravity 1.014, which equates to an ABV of 5.5% and an IBU of 22. So my steeping grains are half pound of Cara Munich at 60 Lovibond and a quarter pound of dark Munich at 20 Lovibond, which seems kind of contradictory.
Yeah.
That's funny. Anyway,
It's the mix thing.
I know. Just the names. Extracts are 6.6 pounds of Munich liquid malt extract, and I'm also going to be adding a pound of Pilsen dry malt extract. My hops are both, or I have two different times I put hops in the boil this time. But they're both Hallertau Mittelfrüh, which I'm not sure what that means. But 1 ounce will go in at 60-minute, and another ounce will go in at the 15-minute. What I mean by that is the 15-minute remaining on the 60-minute boil. My yeast was originally going to be the 2206 Bavarian lager, but we had to substitute with a 2124, I think it's the Bohemian lager, which I certainly trust the judgment of our beer supply guys, and he said that it would be just fine. We even looked at the data on it, and It specifies in its examples of beer types that yeast will work with is Oktoberfest, specifically. So. And since I'm not bottling, I'm not using any kind of priming sugar. As usual, I keg all the beers that I make. I have never bottled, and I started brewing in 2008.
I did once.
Yeah.
It was a disaster.
It didn't turn out very well.
I might not do it again, ever.
Well, I think you should chalk it up to a learning experience and try it one more time at least, because you might have a better result. I'm still going to try this once.
You know what? So I watch a lot of videos. There are people that actually, they carbonate in the keg, and then they fill the bottle, and then they cap it.
Yeah, I've heard of that too.
I like that idea because I don't know. I mean, there's so many things that could have gone wrong. Number one, I boiled my bottle caps to sanitize them, and the little plastic thing that might have screwed that up.
Softened it.
Yeah, I just didn't want to use bleach because we were bleach guys until we were shown the light by the proselytizer of Star Sand.
Yeah, I mean we've used Star Sand before, but we were just kind of like, bleach is easier, so we just kind of took the easy route. But I bought Star Sand my last trip out there to the supply, and everything that's sanitizing for this brew day is being done with Star Sand instead of bleach, and it's kind of a personal experiment. I believe it when they say the beer will taste different, but I want my own taste, see how it tastes to me.
Well, and he has a good point. I mean, Trevor was talking about how corrosive bleach is, and it is.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't want to.
Yeah, don't bleach your metal.
Yeah, don't bleach the metal parts with it because it'll do bad things.
Right. So I'd always just have a bucket of bleach water with the funnel and the water locks, all that stuff in there. Which, if you think about it, plastic is porous, man. Sure, we rinse it, but maybe there might be some chemical remaining in there that comes out later. Even though we rinse as well as we do.
All right. Well, bleach breaks down.
Yeah.
It only lives about 15 minutes. So like the carboy over there.
Right.
After 15 minutes, the bleach has pretty much broke down. It's not sanitizing anymore. But everything inside is sanitized and it's capped, so that's fine. But I do like the idea, even though I used bleach today.
Only in this carboy.
Yes. Only in the carboy.
Everything else is under the Star Sand. So.
Mainly because I want to buy my own Star Sand. Because
I even use bleach, or not bleach. I even used Star Sand in my carboy. I filled it up about a little over halfway, and it's supposed to be 1 ounce of 5 gallons of water, so I just used a little bit less than
an ounce. That stuff's gonna go a long ways then.
Yeah, it'll go pretty.
Anyways, I really do like the idea that with your carboy, you'll rinse it once, and you don't have to sniff check it or call your wife in with her hypersensitive nose and stuff. Whereas mine, we're just gonna run 40 gallons of water through it.
And technically, with the Star Sand, if you let it dry completely, you don't have to rinse anything. You can, once it dries, it's done. You can go right to using it for your for your products, because it's a food service, a food grade cleaner. It's not just for brewing. It's used in any kind of food handling environment.
So basically, what we're saying is we're sold on it.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
All right, so let's talk about my beer, which is a smoky porter. Oh, so smoky. Literally, that was my reaction the first time I drank this.
Yeah, it was good. The first time you drank it.
Oh, wow, this is
I didn't even realize it was a home brew. What I mean is sometimes you taste a home brew, you drink someone's home brew, and it just kind of has a homebrew flavor. It's a home brew, even though it tastes fine, you enjoy it. It just doesn't have that almost commercial level taste. But that smoky porter he did, we were drinking it. Because I didn't see him pour it or anything. He just brought me a glass, and so I thought it came out of a bottle. And we were hanging out, drinking a beer. He said, "Yeah, this is a smoky porter I made." And I was like, "What?" That last batch was, I thought it was off the shelf. I did not realize it was a home brew. So whatever you did, man, you did it right.
Too bad I probably won't, because that was before temperature controlled fermenting and everything. So probably luck. That's okay. It was good luck. And it was good beer. And to be honest, we have, with the exception of the Snowbank beers, which were an utter disappointment. And then the beer that we found in my basement that was 2 years old in the primary. We didn't drink that one.
I don't know about that one.
We just dumped it. It's like how it stayed. Don't ask and don't judge.
Now, if I had a keg of beer that was 2 years old in an airtight keg, I'd probably give it a shot.
Keg?
I'd carbonate it and see what happens.
Well, that primary was still, the water lock still had water in it. It was thing, but it had been sitting on that trube for 2 years. I blame my kids. They buried it in toys and junk. Anyways, today I'm making a smoky porter. The yeast I'm using is Y yeast 1028, which I couldn't tell you why right now. But the first time I brewed this, I could have told you why, because I tend to overthink my beers.
Because it's wine. That's why.
Right. Thank you. He'll be here all week. We're using some Breeze Amber liquid malt extract, 6.6 pounds. Willamette 60 is going in, or Willamette is going in at 60 minutes, 1 ounce. And then EKG Goldings at the 10-minute mark, also 1 ounce. For the grains, we're using Crystal 150, 7 ounces. Golden Naked Oats, 7 ounces. Black Malt, 12 ounces. British Chocolate Malt, 3 ounces. And the Rauch.
Well, if it's SCH, it's sh.
It's just CH.
Oh.
Of course, I've misspelled things in the past.
Oh.
Melavoidin.
Not melanoidin.
Anyways, Trevor said Rauch.
Okay.
Rauch. So in any case, to give it that smoky flavor. Standard boil, 1 hour. I should probably look at what temperature the yeast really likes. That'll be a quick
It should be on your smack pack.
Yeah.
So on there.
But in any case, standard beer from there.
Yeah, 1 hour boil.
Chill as fast as possible.
Yeah.
Add yeast, agitate,
Right.
put in fermenter.
Since I'm making a lager, I'll actually do a diacetyl rest
Anything.
right before I transfer it, about a day before I transfer it to the secondary, and then I'll lager it. I might let this one go a lot longer than the usual about 2 weeks I do secondary. I might actually lager it for a while and see if I can get it to get real clear like I did like that one came out. And I think next beer day might be, maybe I'll go ahead and do that winter ale I want to do.
Oh, the spiced one?
Yeah, kind of spiced winter ale kind of beer,
I kind of like that idea a lot.
Start doing. If I don't do it next brew day, at least I'll start doing my homework and looking up information about it and kind of what goes into that sour beer, et cetera, et cetera. That way, when I do make it, which I want to make it, if not next brew day, at least the first brew day in November. That way, it's ready to go, around Christmas or New Year's,
I think you should make it as well. Next brew day then. What is next brew day?
2 weeks from today. Yes, thank you. I'll tell you in a second.
Because don't forget, I'm going on vacation here.
Oh yeah, that's right. You got your hunting camp coming up.
Thanksgiving week, so it's the end of November.
Well, next brew day will be the 30th of October.
Oh, nice.
So yeah.
Spooky brews.
Right. So probably the 6th of November, that brew day.
Yeah.
I will do the spiced kind of winter ale.
That sounds like a good plan.
That will be done by Christmas time, New Year's. Enjoy. And then we'll be taking a break after that, right? For a little bit.
Well, so I'm gone for.
What day are you leaving?
Thanksgiving week, whatever week Thanksgiving lays on.
Well,
I'm leaving the weekend before.
Okay, so that the 20th is the weekend before Thanksgiving. That would be the next brew day after the 6th. So we won't have a brew day again until probably December 4th. Yeah, which will be because you're going to be gone over Thanksgiving weekend as well, correct?
Right, that's the idea.
Yeah, 27th will be the Sunday after that. So the 4th will be the first Sunday after our last brew day. So what we're gonna get about a 3-week hiatus there of brewing, while in between. But that's fine.
Gotcha. Yeah, it is what it is.
It'll be fine. Gives my lager time to lager more.
Sure.
That one lager, I let it sit in there for 2 months, which that's not that long compared to some lagering I've read about. Where people left that thing lagering for a year.
Well, last Sunday we drank beers that were 2 years old.
Yeah, I know.
They were really good too.
Yeah.
They were really do not drive after drinking this beer.
No, they were quite strong, quite hefty. But what's funny is, had a good, decent, fun buzz. We didn't have any mistakes last time either.
That's because we're careful and we don't get blasted before we're done. We're slow.
Right, but I was more buzzed last time than I have been on previous episodes.
Yes, that's because we were drinking 2 beers that were insane.
Right, that's what I mean. It's like even though the ABV was a little higher in our system while we were brewing, we actually had less or no problems at all. Whereas the other days we were just drinking like normal pace. We'd have boilovers or things with
the other thing is,
or whatever,
much like today, very much in control.
Mm-hmm.
Today was good, man. All the parts. Did you remember to bring this? Yes, I did. Did you remember to bring this? Yes, I did. Did you remember to bring a chair?
No.
No, I thought you had this chair. Nope, you've been bringing your own chair. Oh, great.
It's okay. Now you remember.
We can live without a chair. Oh, look! Comments.
Ah, alrighty.
Sex Find Pro, new dating for all tastes and ages, 93.
All right.
Wow,
what's
not
up?
interested.
Thanks for the bot ad.
Yep, very awesome. Nothing better than Sex Find
Now, if
Pro.
you're going to be like an ad bot, can at least be beer related.
Yeah, come on. Be related to the thing. Jeez. All right,
There's
well,
a lot more on there than there is on there.
I know. I don't know.
That's kind of weird. You can scroll up or something.
I'm scrolling.
'Cause I can't read what's over here.
Go ahead. Get closer there.
Oh, it's all this.
What have you done?
Sorry. It's just more crap from the ad bot ad or whatever the hell you want to call that ad bot.
Ad bot.
I mean, not even be a bot, but I'm just gonna assume it is.
I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah.
So I'm gonna bring this down even a little bit more so they can see the more of the kettles, because we got a lot of dead space above our heads. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
From the shot, the camera shot.
You need some dead space, otherwise it looks like.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah, I don't want the top of our heads cut off, but we had a lot of dead space, and now that people can actually see the kettles and mostly full. Well, cool, man.
So yeah, that's
next couple months are going to be cool. You know, you got brewing coming up, you got hunting camp coming up. My wife's having her surgery, so.
Well, that's a good thing, though.
Oh yeah,
I mean, that actually is something cool.
Yeah, I'll be taking time off work the following 2 weeks after that. Her surgery's on a Monday, so I'll take that whole week off, and then following week. Yeah.
So yeah, we're gonna kind of have to play it loose over the holidays. I mean, that's just the way
It's the holidays, man.
You know? And then start up again in the new year.
We always, well, I can't speak for you all the time, but I always have enough beer to last a few weeks.
I have 25 gallons of beer in my house. 25 gallons
For the moment.
of beer.
For the moment.
For the moment.
And what I mean is like a regular beer. Like sometimes you'll finish your beer the first week it's done carbonating.
I got.
Especially if it's a Newcastle.
Okay, so if my wife drinks it with me, you're right.
That's what I mean.
It goes away quickly.
Within the first week, it's gone. Yeah.
Which is why we make IPAs and things that she doesn't like. Do you like this kind of beer? No, good. I'm making it.
I'm making a double batch of this one.
Yeah. But Lagunitas has figured out their distribution, and so we can regularly buy the Newcastle that she likes, and that means I can brew whatever I want.
Right.
And it sticks around. I gotta cut back on my drinking though.
Right.
Like,
I was kind of goading on that, but it's normal for you to come home from work and have a beer or two. Or three.
Yeah.
Whereas I don't do that. I get home from work, I pretty much go right to bed because I'm up. I work at night, so I get home very late in the morning, or early in the morning. I'm not even look at it. Late at night, early in the morning, and then I'm up. You know, only a few hours later with my children to get them to school, and I just stay up the rest of the day and then go back to work. So I don't have really any time to drink a cold after work. So I'm more of a weekend warrior. Whereas you have an opportunity to drink beer too, you know.
Yeah, but it is high calorie, and man, how long have I been riding my bike faithfully to work?
At least 3 or 4 months, if not more.
Yeah.
You started at the beginning of the summer or the late spring, I thought.
Yeah. So then I am like not losing weight.
That's what you're saying.
And it is 16 miles a day. That is a lot of
riding.
riding.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with cutting back on beer drinking. This is going to make your beer last even longer. Then,
See,
you know?
there we go. See, I'm good with this. But when we go all grain, what's going to happen, dude, when we're making 10-gallon batches of beer?
You can still make 5-gallon batches.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Yeah, it's still
It's
the same amount of beer. You just need more water to begin with.
Because you're making
because you're making your own malts.
Extract.
Yeah, you're extracting your own malts from the grain. So you gotta start. If you're gonna make a 5-gallon batch, you're gonna need like 8 gallons of water, depending on how much what you're trying to do. One of the guys I work with, he's recently started doing. He switched over from extract to all grain brewing, but he's only making 3-gallon batches in the end. So he's actually able to use this size boiling kettle because he's just making 3-gallon batches of beer and bottles it.
Oh.
But he just started doing all grain, so it's pretty cool. And it's just him, by himself. So.
Well, that is cool.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's the ability to make smaller batches is actually a good thing. With the extract, we're kind of locked into 5. If you think about it, we can't change.
Well, that's what it's measured for,
Right. Well, we could carefully measure out the hops and throw the rest of the hops away.
Because 5 gallons is the law on making alcohol yourself. Making beer. That's what the law says. You can make up to 5 gallons for personal use. Actually.
Oh.
Yeah, that's a law actually.
Government oppression?
Sure.
That's what I call it.
But I don't think the government's going to care if you make more than 5 gallons of beer for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
But I think what they're going to care about is if you try to maybe transport it across state lines for money, they might get involved.
Well, yeah, that's a problem because they make a lot of money. That's why during COVID, all the liquor stores were deemed essential. It had nothing to do with, oh, we can't deprive these people of their beer.
No, it was financial.
It was because we'll get tax dollars. The same reason that all the pot shops were open.
Oh yeah, at least in our area. There's not, I know pot shops don't exist across the country, but in states they do exist. Ours, yeah, that's a major source of tax revenue for the state. You know?
Well, it is because they hit them hard.
Yeah.
They hit them hard. That's which is one of the things that the potheads.
But I'm not seeing anything from it yet, though.
What's that?
I'm not seeing anything. The state's doesn't seem to be returning anything from those tax revenues up.
They never do, man. That's why
highways are so crap. You know?
Yeah, well, that's why the carbon tax is such a BS thing. You know, I would actually not be against it if I could watch. It's like, okay, so there's an extra dollar because you're using a fossil fuel. And if I could trace that dollar, even if they put up a nice budget on the website, somewhere, on a website, and I could trace it, and there it goes, and there's the tree it planted. Or there's the research it funded to find a zero-emission car that has a better range than 5 miles. Or a direct, real solution to pollution in the atmosphere, right? If I could trace it, I'd be like, yeah. But you can't. It goes into this big, vague bureaucracy, and then 5 cents go blink, and the 5 cents just goes into nothing.
Yeah.
It's just like it just tink,
and yet the company that's producing the pollution is still producing the pollution, which still has more of an impact on the environment than whatever their carbon tax is supposed to do to help offset that impact, you know?
Exactly. So that's why I'm just like, carbon taxes,
bogus,
no.
You know?
And so many things of the government, and this is not a Democrat.
It doesn't matter how much you tax them, it's still hurting, you know?
Yeah. And unless that money is used directly to undo the damage that they did, unless that's true, then all you're doing is just sucking money, you know, and making a bigger bureaucracy.
Right. You know? Well, this is about as political as I want to get, but
oh no,
so you can talk in the mirror then, because I'm not going to get engaged in a political conversation. This is about beer brewing, not politics or ranting and raving. Which, hey, open mouth insert foot. A few episodes ago, yes. That's why I'm just like, I'm not going to let myself get triggered anymore, you know?
Oh, well, I'm not going to get angry. I thought of it more as an interesting discussion point than argue. I don't want to argue politics with you. I agree with you. But there are places I love to argue politics, and here is not one of them.
This is not one of them.
But it's a problem. It's a problem. It
is a problem. I just don't want to turn it into a political conversation.
No,
yes, a problem as across the nation to make the nation cleaner. Sure, you know, we need to, and not just the nation, but the world at that, you know.
Well, and I think I was just thinking more on government and taxes. A lot of people would have a lot less heartburn about their taxes.
I knew where the money was going.
Yeah, if you could follow that, you know, and the thing is, you can even give, you know, I can even give allowances. It's like, okay, so we need a person to do this job, and they need to be paid. So that's going to siphon off a little,
right?
You know.
But what would make a difference is if the lines of finance were transparent. You know?
Yeah, if you could just watch it go, you know, just like this is where it goes, but it doesn't. It goes into a big general fund, huge bureaucracy. We have to pay all these people. You and I were government workers. We know how wasteful the government is. It's like it takes 3 government workers, you know, to do a task that one private sector worker does. You know, I mean, I might have pulled that out of my butt, to be honest, that number, but it just seemed like there's a lot more government workers accomplishing the same amount that private sector workers are doing.
With less workers, yeah.
Yeah, and to an extent, it's like, you know, like on road crews and stuff. It's like, why is there a guy standing on a shovel? Because if the other guy gets hit by a car, somebody needs to be able to call the police and the hospital, you know. I get that. There's certain safety things that, you know, when you drive by, it's like, one guy's standing leaning on a shovel, the other guy working. It's like, but there's actually.
I would imagine they probably swap out too, and they have a system, you know. I don't know how road workers, their system. I know they're private sector though, because I mean they're unionized and all that. I mean, I imagine they're unionized. At least some of them probably.
I don't know. Most of the road work around here is done by local construction companies, and I don't think they're unionized.
Maybe not. I don't know. It just seems like that kind of work would have a union somewhere involved, to protect the workers' rights. But union discussion is could be a slippery slope in itself, because
There's nowhere safe, man. There's nowhere
I
safe.
don't want to go down that road,
The only thing you can do is have a good discussion. Instead of flame back and forth,
Right.
And say, "Oh, you're an idiot."
Right.
Just say, "Well, this is where I see a problem," and then you say, "Well, this is where I see that's
And this
benefit."
is why ABC. Well, that would be the way we're supposed to do it, but
And that
unfortunately,
is
it's hard to have those kind of conversations where two people can be on opposite sides but still be civil about it.
well, you and I can do it because we don't agree 100%.
No, but
We agree 95%, so that makes it hard to have a discussion.
Right.
We're on
right.
opposite sides of the table, but
Right. There are definitely other things that we do agree differently on, but that's fine. Yeah, we can have that conversation and be civil and just be like, yeah, this is why I like it this way, and then you say you like it, why you like something the way you like it, whatever, and we can carry on smartly and not be all pissy about it. It just seems like it doesn't happen as often. Are you getting ready? Okay,
Begin.
I'm gonna turn my fire on.
well, no. And in the social media spaces, you definitely, if you want a good discussion, you have to see it live.
Oh yeah.
And I just know this just from having political discussions.
You can't do an asynchronous discussion on something like that.
Occasionally, but usually my good discussions. I mean, so my one friend, he's joined a lot of groups, so he has a lot of Facebook friends, quote unquote.
Mm-hmm.
People that he's never seen their face actually. He never drank a beer with them, never brought a cup of coffee or anything.
Right.
But they interact a lot.
Seems like that act, a beer, coffee, whatever, would build better trust for these kind of things, even if you're on opposite side of the fence,
Oh, absolutely, absolutely would. I mean, just the face-to-face aspect of things really tempers a conversation, because it's easy to be this bold keyboard warrior with your snarky comments that you spent 14 minutes figuring out before you zing the guy. It's a lot harder to do a zinger face-to-face.
Oh yeah.
20 minutes later, ha ha ha, and you're like, that response is to a comment I made 20 minutes ago. You do not look
you're
good
late.
now. You don't look clever. You look slow. But seriously, it's harder to be so aggressive and abrasive,
right,
face to face.
Yeah, it kind of when you're sitting across the table from somebody that you're having a disagreement with, you tend to be a little more humble.
And it works better in small groups.
Yeah.
If you've got your tribe, and using that term very much on purpose, tribe, because that's the buzzword now, tribalism. If you've got your tribe with you, it's easy to be, aggressive just like that, because, you've got 14 people behind you.
But all think alike, yeah. You're all thinking on the same level.
You're not, to be honest, you're not going to get your ass kicked when you got a 14-person army behind you. When it's just you,
PG.
Yeah, I'm cool. I thought about that, so let's just go with it.
That's okay. It's okay. We don't always have to be, pardon the expression, Disney-ified.
Yes, we do not.
I'm not going to use that word anymore because I do not like where Disney has gone. So I'm not going to consider G movies Disney-ified anymore.
No, that's a problem. The fact that we can't discuss Disney here because politics.
Yeah, so I'm going to leave it at that.
Yep. I'm just going to turn my flame off. Whoops, wrong way.
Yeah. Oh, we need beers.
Yeah, that's okay. See, we're having a good discussion. I love good discussions.
Yes, me too. I like good discussions. We going Lazarus Ale, or we still want to do another IPA?
So when you say Lazarus, do you mean the resurrection ale?
Yes, I do.
And now it's time for Brew Kettles Alone. Yeah, do the resurrection. Perfect. Be right back. We're only a few feet away. You just can't see us.
I'll deliver, man. If you want to.
Oh, nice delivery. Wait, is there a delivery fee? Do I have to tip you?
No.
Okay, cool.
No tips.
We'll go with that then. Oh, excuse me.
Yeah.
American pour?
Totally American pour.
I love American pours. You know why? Because you can make it back to the table without spilling.
Actually, that's kind of a.
I'm good with it.
You need a better pour than that.
Steve, we're 10 feet from the keg. We can go back as many times as we want. We've had this discussion. That's the nice thing about having a keg. So
I have the lower floor then.
I'm comfortable with you, but I don't want your cooties. Labatt Blue Steve cooties. Who knows what that'll do to me? I might end up not being able to drink saisons. I feel bad for you, man.
Yes, officially, Jamey and I have come to the conclusion that I am allergic to the ingredients and yeast that make up the saison style of beer. And this didn't just happen overnight. This has been like a couple of years in the making.
Well, yeah, it's something that we just look back over time. It's like, when do you get that? Whenever we drink saisons or eat Doritos, which is.
I think the Doritos kind of exasperate it because of the spices and stuff. Yeah. So what happens basically is we'll get together, whether we brew it or buy it, it'll be a Belgian style or a saison, and we'll drink it, and then all of a sudden
it tastes good.
It tastes good, yeah, and the flavor is fine. And it just all of a sudden I just get this instant foam gut where it just and I can't do anything. I'm just kind of incapacitated for a while because I can't burp, I can't drink any more beer, I can barely talk because I get the pressure on my chest. It's just almost hard to breathe, And
we were stuck at a brewery for 45 minutes the other night.
Yeah, we went to one of the breweries in the other county, and it was really cool. This place is awesome because they have a variable amount of beers you can get in your flight. You can get as minimum as 4 or as many as 12. We were like, that's amazing.
We went with 7.
So we went with 7, which was about they were little 4-ounce glasses. So if you do the math on it, it was like 2 pints maybe at the most. Or
it's 4 ounces shy of 2 pints.
Right. So it's
28 ounces.
Not quite 2 pints. The point was we were contemplating the saison, and I was like, I should be fine. It's only 4 ounces,
Right.
So
little bit.
we got this, and let me clarify real quick. We get identical flights. That's how we do this. He gets a flight, I get a flight, but we have the same beers. That way we drink them at the same time, and we discuss them and say what we like or didn't like about them. But anyway, we got to the saisons, drank the saisons, we're moving on to the next beer. The saisons were the third one.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on, I took a few sips out of the 4th beer, and I was just like, I had to stop because it hit me, that bubble super foam gut. And so we started Googling on our phones, checking out the symptoms and seeing what we could find. And pretty much what it sounds like is I'm allergic to the yeast and possibly some of the other grains that might be going into that. But I don't know, man. I don't think it's the grains. I think it's the yeast, though.
It has to be the yeast because everything else that goes into a saison is kind of plain Jane. It goes into all the beers.
Yeah, all the same beers we made before.
6-row barley, 2-row barley,
whatever. There's no other style of beer that we either brewed or purchased that affects my stomach that way. It's only that style. So it has to be the Belgian yeast.
And Belgians, you're not a big fan of Belgians for that reason either.
Yeah, I think it just kind of killed my desire for them because most cases they taste fine. I enjoy the flavor, but it's not that side effect. So anyway,
no, that's a horrible side effect.
I'm officially no longer ever going to drink saisons or pretty much any Belgian, for that matter. Belgian white, anything. No more blue moons, nothing like that.
Blue moon. That's a good song.
I'm just going to stick with everything else, apparently. But so I think I'm good. I have plenty to choose from.
Okay, so there's 999,999 beers, and we're going to drink them all.
We're going to drink them all.
Oh, by the way, I went down to Wicked Teutons last night and did that live, and it was well received.
Good, yeah.
By a church group.
Oh,
it was awesome.
Still well received.
So we went down there, and there was a big group of people, and they were all from the same church. I don't know what church it was from. I didn't dig into it, but they're all. So
that was the main customer base last night. Was a church group?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, there were some other guys came in the corner, and there was 3 girls sitting up at the bar, and they seemed to enjoy the song, right? So the first thing we did was the boys played, and so they played. So Jaime likes Make a Man Out of You from Mulan. So that was the first thing we did, which was fun because there was a whole bunch of 7, 8, and 9-year-olds.
Oh, they probably recognized
it. It's perfect, And if they didn't, the parents did. Because we're parents, we know.
We know all the Disney songs.
Yeah, we know all the Disney songs.
Yeah, I was supposed to be there, not necessarily on stage with you. I know you
I didn't think you were coming down, actually. I didn't expect you there.
Yeah, I just wasn't feeling going out, man. I stayed
that's
home,
cool.
Obviously, I stayed home, so.
I mean,
but Jamey was trying to get me to get on stage with him originally. He was like, "Hey, you should come down and perform with me." I'm just not ready to do it yet because I don't feel like I have the song. I don't feel like I have the song completely in my head yet. It's easy when we're in your studio and I have the monitor there.
Yeah, and we're 7 beers in.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, sounds great at that
I would
point.
drink a beer or two before we started, just to calm the nerves, not to get drunk.
You can play bass.
But yeah, I think playing bass would be fun for that song, and I'd like to do my singing part that's going to be on the album. You know.
Oh, that would be cool.
That's what I mean. Maybe even while playing bass.
By the way, we got to get it nailed down. I'm going to let the bagpipes go. It's just, and it's not Matt's fault. It's just that I don't know if we had.
Well, do you want me to talk to my friend Andrew and see if
he's got a true B flat bagpipe set? That's
okay,
the thing.
The guy lives in Bellingham, so he's not that far away.
Does he play with other instruments?
That's the thing. I don't know. I got to find out. I'll talk to my friend. Well, he's not gonna. I think he's still on baby leave, but I can shoot him a text.
Something else to talk. Well, it's just something else. It's a good discussion thing while we're waiting for these.
Oh, absolutely.
For this to happen. Is it so? The bagpipe in the normal world, the A that we tune to,
right,
is 440 hertz.
Yeah.
440 hertz.
Yeah.
Bagpipes tune between 460, like 480. So B flat is 466.16 hertz. I guess that's the perfect B flat. 466.16.
Gotta get that 1/6 in there.
I have never tuned my guitar that accurately. But the point is,
I think I have
466.
with my super tuner.
Yeah, even your setups and your micro lockers, electric guitar,
No, I have a
Lego guitars.
I have a very precise tuner.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Yeah. I downloaded a couple of
Strobe tuner.
playing them. Oh, nice. Yeah. In any case, 466 is B flat, right? Bagpipes are tuned to like 480 to 490.
Oh. Okay.
B flat plus.
So it's not quite. Talk about a microtone, right? You know?
Yeah, it is. It is like a quarter tone or an eighth tone, but it's a big enough distance that you can definitely hear it very strongly. So I did a lot of research on bagpipes just because it's a great sound and it would go great on that song. But you got to buy some gear. So the bagpipes come in. You've got the bag, right? Then you got the 3 big pipes coming off the top, right? Those are called your drones.
Right.
You have a bass drone and 2 tenor drones.
Right.
Right? And then you have the little thing that they hold right here, right? That's called the chanter. Now, we're talking basically about the Highland pipes, the big Scottish, the big loud ones, you know.
You guys get a free performance. Hey, Sexbot, you see that? You get a performance.
That's right. Even better for dating up to ages of 93.
Yeah. Maybe that 92-year-old wants to hear bagpipes.
In the bedroom.
In the bedroom at high pitches.
Anyhow, so you got the chanter, right? Drones, the bag, obviously, which keeps the air going, and you inflate the bag with your. But you know, it's interesting. So with the trumpet, you blow, and it creates the tone. With the bagpipe, when those guys are blowing, they're just inflating that bag, and the thing that keeps it going is that squeezing of it with the arm.
Bellow motion kind
It is a complex instrument, and you think the Highland pipes are complex. The Uilleann pipes, Uillean, holy jeez, those things are crazy.
Is that like the Irish version, kind of?
They're a smaller pipe. I don't know if they're Irish. They might be Irish.
Right.
But they are, so there's no blowing with those. They're bellows driven, so you're constantly pumping them.
We saw a YouTube video of some little groups doing, one of the performers was using Uilleann pipes.
Right, but they are diatonic, or they're chromatic.
Chromatic, right.
Not diatonic. The Highland pipes are diatonic. They have 9 notes. That's it. They go from a low G up to a high A above the staff.
Gotcha.
Then the low G is actually an A plus.
I gotta move because the sun's
you're starting to get cooked.
Right my face, man.
So in any case, that's, the Highland pipes are diatonic. They got 9 notes. And their scale, you'll love their scale. It's Mixolydian. Captain Metal.
Captain Metal.
You are Captain Metal, and you talk about the Mixolydian scale all the time.
Oh, it's a good scale.
It is a good
It's a
scale.
good metal scale. So is the Phrygian scale. It's used in a lot of the. Well, the Phrygian scale is used more in the Yngwie Malmsteen style metal. That classical, neoclassical metal.
Me myself, when I write, I use the Lydian scale a lot. I love the Lydian scale when I write a lot of my classical music. And stuff.
I see. As your baseline for your progression.
It's like, well, that's where it starts. I'll put it in this key, and I will start on the 4th note and just establish that Lydian sound. So cool.
That's
it's
cool,
so
man.
cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna experiment a little bit more. I don't venture into the modes as much as I should. I think I'm going to do that a little bit more next song.
Remember, we were discussing the whole concept that, how are you doing?
I'm fine.
Okay.
I've been watching it.
It's like, you just like, oh yeah, I'm going to write this in Phrygian. It's like, yeah, but you started on the first beat. I mean, you started on the root tone. Like, right, it's Phrygian. It's like, no. You started on the root tone. You're Ionian.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. It's all where you start.
Right.
Where you start and where you land.
Yeah. I know how the modes work. I probably learned how the modes work officially. I've actually known for a number of years, but for a long time I did not. I did not realize how they work. I'm like, what is going on here? And then it's like when they click, I'm like, oh, okay. It all makes sense now.
Yeah. That makes perfect sense. So in any case,
just like the first one you're ever going to learn will be the relative minor, because you're starting on the 6th of that major scale, and then if you play out the regular intervals, you're going to get the natural minor out of it.
Which you'll get natural, right?
Natural, yeah.
Because don't forget, there's also harmonic and melodic.
But you're starting and ending on different notes. But even though it's a minor scale, it's the idea is the same with your modes,
But it's the Aeolian mode, so the natural minor is very close to the Aeolian mode. Play the major scale, but start on the 6th note. Drop down. Yeah. You can drop all the way. You can move all the way up. It doesn't matter. You start on the 6th tone of the scale, and then you get your Aeolian mode.
Right.
The minors, natural minor is not used that much. Harmonic minor is super popular.
Flat 3rd, 6th, and 7th, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes. And then the harmonic minor. Now I gotta dig back in my 3rd, but they sharp the 7th and they sharp the 6th, I think.
Yeah, there's one. Yeah, the harmonic minor sounds a little bit different.
And then for melodic, they sharp them on the way up and they flat them on the way down, and it sounds really weird. And it's like I never quite understood.
Is it like one of those ones that has kind of the Middle East Arabic sound to it? That kind of scale.
It is.
That's hard. A minor scale, with that kind of cliche scale you always hear with like some.
It is really hard to pick out a melodic minor without looking at the score and saying, "Oh, he's using a melodic."
Oh, I see.
It's more of an academic theory thing than it is a real listening thing. If you ask me.
Oh, that makes sense.
If you ask me,
it makes sense.
Yeah,
because if you're sharpening one way and flatting the other way, you're just going to use it kind of on the fly.
And what if your melody does this? It's like you're all over the place with your melody, and then you're like, okay, so wait, was he flat there? Was he sharp there? Oh, it's melodic. It's like, oh, jeez, man, it's just flow.
Just go with it.
Play by ear.
This sound good. Yes, okay.
It sounded good. That's the point.
That's what we're going for.
But the thing is that particularly with the modes, you still play by ear, but if you can just stick that in your head, okay. So let's say we're in the key of C. So if you start on a G, which is the 5th, what's that? I don't punch like Muhammad. So that's Mixolydian. So you start, I don't punch like Muhammad Ali. That's
mnemonics that help you.
Mnemonics work, man. I don't know the modes as well as all that either. But if you start on the G as your beginning tone, so you're now establishing a Mixolydian sound. So you go whatever you want, but just know with your phrases, you start on that G and you try and end on that G, it'll give your song that Mixolydian sound. Whereas even if you start on the G, but then you land real hard on a C, it's like, we're back to Ionian, because we're just back to regular major key. So
sure, following you. That's got to kind of stabilize my temperature. I'm getting close to steeping temp.
No, I get you. I actually went all the way up to 160 and killed my plan. I'm still at 150. So.
You're fine.
It'll be fine.
It'll be fine. It's funny how we went from talking about some bureaucracy type stuff into music, That's what
I don't know how we landed there, but the point is that I'm going to have to let go of the bagpipes.
Right.
And it's not Matt's fault, because in order to get the bagpipes down to B flat, you have to buy a special chanter.
Oh.
Which is probably longer, so that it's
lowers the tone, yeah.
And then for your drones that are sticking up there, they make these little drone extenders. They're only about this long, but you put them inside there, and it lengthens the drone, so they drop it.
Oh, yeah, I get it.
And I'm not going to make Matt buy a bunch of stuff for a one-off song that's going to go on a beer album, and then we're gonna be famous and rich, and we'll enter into our drug-addicted, overweight, sitting on the pilot, eating a Subway sandwich phase, and then into our Betty Ford rehab phase, and then we'll like all be fit, but then we'll die of heart attacks because we've used our bodies so hard earlier. Lots of money. You like where I went with that? I'm down with this. Story arc. It's all about story arc. Yeah, Yay. No, seriously, it's a one-off. Hip shot, one-off.
Oh yeah, I know what you're saying.
It's a fun thing.
Well, I'll ask my buddy, and if he can't do it, then yeah, we'll just carry on. And I know you and I, we've talked about it, a couple weeks ago when we practiced. It's like, yeah, we got to get this album track, man.
Well, it's the whole thing about not working on some of the heavier, more serious stuff, like Ruby Chose the Monster and Run Forth the Danger. Those are metal pieces, but they are, no offense, they're political, but not overtly political.
No, I know what you mean.
Well, they actually are.
It's okay to talk about something political. I just didn't want to get into a political discussion. Yeah.
I hate this candidate. I hate that.
No, I didn't want to get into that. I didn't want to
interesting.
I didn't want to discuss public education and those things that would just anger me and ruin the broadcast.
Well, that's a big thing, man. Yeah, don't be getting triggered. That wouldn't ruin it. But an interesting thing is the whole talking about this candidate, that candidate. By the way, we just went on a tangent. It's like I saw a little meme something about small minds talk about. It's like big people talk about ideas, and then some talk about things, and small people talk about people, whatever. It was kind of an insulting, cheesy meme. The person who wrote it probably didn't have a big mind, but the point is, there actually is. There's something to be said about that. It's like, what's the point in bagging on Biden? Biden is not a philosophy. Biden is. Did you just give yourself a plastic cut?
No, I need to fix my thumbnail. I cut it kind of crooked.
No, but you know what I'm saying? He's not a philosophy. He's not a political dogma. He's just a person.
Right.
There's no reason to get all bent about Joe Biden, just like there's no reason to get bent about Donald Trump when he was in office. There's no point. I mean, to talk about that and discuss that and, discuss these people and say, oh, you're so bad because you like this guy. It's like, yeah, no. And granted, we tend to get caught in celebrity politics. Everybody does.
Right.
But really, the things to discuss are the philosophies. What is the Republican core political philosophy? What's the Democratic? What's the Libertarian? What's the Green people? They're kind of weird, but, they have a legit political philosophy.
Right.
My point, and those things are really worth talking about and having discussions on. Is a bigger government that's more centralized with more power better, or is a smaller government that's more fractured? Is that better? Now, you know which way I bend on that, but that's a discussion worth having. That is an interesting discussion.
Well, that impacts everybody, no matter what side of the government you're on, or what side of the political tracks you're on,
there are certain things that are just explosive. We won't even bother to hit the controversial hot topics because we all know what they are. Those things are things. We're talking about things. They're not philosophies. They are things, but they're from philosophies. Sometimes it's just wrong. Murder, it's wrong. It's like,
don't kill people.
Like, well, we think that it's okay if they're in this class of person. It's like, no. So that's not a discussion to be had and opinions to be discussed. That is a flame war and to defeat your other side. You are wrong. You cannot just kill people because it's not raining. You can't do it. That's not how we make it rain.
Right.
Little Aztec reference.
How much time do you have left in your teeth? Just out of curiosity.
6 minutes, 57 seconds. Okay. So I got a little bit of time.
I might have to pop inside and flip my carboy over.
Yeah, I should probably.
Excuse me.
Let's go do that.
Okay, we'll be right back.
It's time for Jamey Alone, the part of the show where Jamey is alone. Oh, get a little flame. The alien flame's way over there. I gotta tell you, folks, I feel like I feel like I ran a marathon or something. Man, my muscles are just screaming at me.
Okay, I am back. Yes, who's back?
Hooray!
Back again. Yes, he's back.
Ooh, pretzels.
Pretzel.
Are those
Peanut
the,
butter
like,
pretzel.
peanut butter pretzels? Oh, those are so good. And we're drinking dark beers. Yes!
They're gonna, I mean, not that we ever really care about the pairing thing, but they do go well together.
They do go well together.
Those are Costco purchased from a few weeks ago. It's like, ooh, yes, I'll take these, thank you.
That's funny. We were just talking about Costco the other day and how I still don't have a Costco
Well,
membership.
I was about to cancel it because I'm like, if we're not gonna go,
right?
why am I paying for this? Granted, it's only like $60 a year, but still, that's $60 you could be buying beer kits, beer ingredients, you know. So we finally buckled down and went, you know, bought a bunch of snack items for like lunches and stuff, and you know, things like that. We didn't buy any cold stuff that needs some things because we were going to dinner afterwards, and it's like, yeah, we're not gonna do that because if we buy all this cold stuff, it's just gonna thaw out or spoil possibly. So we just bought dry goods. But we're gonna go again probably next weekend.
Nice.
And but we're gonna time it to where we go during the day, early in the day, have lunch out there, and then do our shopping and come home. That way we can buy some eats and things and make the trip worthwhile.
Well, that makes sense. It's a good step away from here, man.
Yeah, man. Temp is holding just right.
So anyways, there are certain things that are worth talking about, but they're not really worth talking about in a philosophical like discussion sense. It truly is a no, you are wrong in this one. You know, you need to accept the truth of this matter. 2 + 2 is 4. It is. Our malts are still out in the sun warming, right?
They are. It should be nice and soft for today's pour. Because, yeah, pretty soon we're gonna have to start using the little hot water in the sink again.
Yeah, when it's when it's 40 degrees outside, that ain't gonna work.
No. Winter is coming.
I think I got enough firewood. Pretty sure. Probably only have like 5 or 6 cords. But that should get us there.
5 or 6 quarts, but I know you burn wood daily.
Every day. All day long. Yeah. That's how we heat the house. You know, when I was in Montana, my dad said when we were living in Townsend, because Townsend had wood heat, 10, 11 cords every year.
Wow.
We cut a lot of wood. But there's lots of wood to be cut. There's lots of dead downfall trees up in the woods. My parents would say, let's go for a picnic. And the kids would be like, oh.
That means wood gathering day.
Yeah. Which, to be honest, we didn't hate it. You know, we liked going up in the mountains and running around the hills and doing all that fun stuff.
Well, I have the wood burning stove here. And I have, you know, baseboard electric heating, which I can't stand. It's so stupidly expensive. It just shoots my bill up, man.
How are your windows? Your windows are better than mine.
I think they're at least double paned.
Well, yeah, this one is for sure.
You know.
And if your garage window is double pane, I imagine the rest are. I just wondering, that's a big part.
Well, I have brand new insulation, like in the attics and all that, and brand new insulation in the crawl space.
That'll help.
All new. Yeah, that was winter, 2 winters ago. Maybe a winter ago. I can't remember when I got it done.
So if I run propane, if I use the furnace and nothing else, about $600 to $700 a month.
Oh wow!
That's to heat my house. But I got windows larger than this that are big single pane. You know that. You've been out to the house, right? So my house is very inefficient.
Well, one thing I'm considering, they call it ductless heating and air conditioning. I guess you can get one or the other. You can get units to do both. And they're these wall mounts. I remember seeing them overseas a lot when we hit some, like we were in the Navy, we hit some port somewhere, stay in a hotel, I remember they would be mounted on the wall, like in the hotel
Mhm.
room, have a little remote on it, and you could turn on the heat or you could turn on the AC. Of course, they haven't used electricity, but I don't know. I mean, it might be pretty efficient. I really don't know. But...
Well, you know, the thing is that if you can put them all on independent thermostats. Oh, there's Nathan.
To say, I saw a different. I couldn't read it, but I saw a different style icon there. What's up, Nathan?
In epic fashion, he is late to the party. Man, you need to watch the replay after we're done. We talked about some cool stuff. Steve almost got triggered. It was great. Then he pulled back. Stick and rudder, full throttle.
Not even close. But
Air brakes. And he's going to fly up and he's going to fly right by me. Just like Top Gun. But in like discourse. It was amazing. I just went shooting off across the room, smashed up against the wall. Ended up talking about tacos.
So, ductless heating.
Welcome to the party. We are now talking about ductless heating.
I'm thinking about ductless heating. I don't want to get too many units because I think if there's that many units running simultaneously, my electric goes.
Well, the thing about those is how often do you use the bedroom during the day?
Right, you don't need them. You know, I was thinking like getting maybe 2, possibly 3, and just placing them strategically in the house so that it maximizes the flow of hot air. You know.
No, that makes good sense.
That kind of thing.
Ouch, 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 ouch. I mean, it does make good sense. I was just thinking you could put them in the bedrooms, and then if they all have their own thermostats, you know, keep the bedroom doors closed. You got to keep the doors closed, which, by the way, this is a technique for energy conservation, is keeping doors in the house closed. Yeah. You know, because then, and shutting, I mean, the old school way is to shut registers, right? So if you've got central forced air, you shut the registers off on the rooms that you don't need to warm up, you know, and then open them up on the rooms that you do. So with these ductless heating things, though, you can put it in there, and if it had a programmable thermostat, you'd be like, all right, so from, say, 11 o'clock at night to, say, 5 in the morning, we're going to drop it to 55 degrees because you're going to be under the covers, you're going to be nice and warm, right? And then at 5 o'clock, we're going to crank it to whatever. Like in my house, it'd be probably 65. I think we have it set for 60, right? So then it comes up to 60. And then, you know, Brandy goes off to work, the girls go off to school, you do what you want, but you're not in the bedroom. So then it drops back to 50. And you sits there, and then whatever bedtime is, let's say bedtime is 9 o'clock. Just throw it out there, right? 9 o'clock, bring it up to 65 again so that you can at least change clothes into jammies and get into bed. And then once you're in bed, you're comfortable and you're going to sleep, drops the temperature again. Right. So you don't spend a lot of time heating spaces that you don't need to heat.
You know you got another sack you got to get out.
I do know. I'm checking on.
You got to get your other sack out of there.
It's okay. I already said the word ass, so apparently we are PGs now.
That's all right, man. And that's why we don't drink too much beer before we get going, because, you know, if the beer's going, inhibitions kind of drop, and then
you're saying
any word comes out.
Dropping F-bombs and going full-on sailor. It's like,
22 years in the Navy. I can't help it sometimes.
You can help it.
I know.
You have strong. You have strong will. No, you can't help it. I know. I'm the same way.
Hey, but for the record, my wife is worse than me.
Yeah, you know.
She was never in the military.
I know. You know, so it's just some people where they come from and stuff. All right. Well, I don't need the thermometer anymore, really.
Not for a while. Not that we chill.
So I just finished my steep, Nathan. I'm going to go ahead and turn the flame on, and
you're going to need your extracts.
I'm going to go
get the door for you.
All right.
Yeah.
Noisy time.
We're back in my garage now.
Yeah, we're back in the garage.
temperature-wise, it would be ideal to brew at Jamey's house. It'd be perfect still, but the problem is it gets dark too early now.
Yeah, the sun goes away, and if you look at, not this broadcast, obviously, but look at our last broadcast, look at the thumbnail.
It's all black, yeah.
You can't see anything. At the end, we were in the dark.
But so that's why Jamey said that. Let's go ahead and make it official. We'll just go back to brewing in the garage. You know, winter is coming, so we do take advantage of the cover we get in here. Because when we're at Jamey's, as you well know, we brew outside. That's why, man, the weather's beautiful today. You know, it would have been gorgeous for brewing at the house. You know.
Yep. But it would be dark by the time we're done. Like dark, like
dark.
Try like flashlights and porch lights.
Phone flashlights. Yeah.
Yeah. It wouldn't work as well. Be right back.
So, quick recap for you. I'm making an Oktoberfest this batch, which is a lager style. So I'll be doing like what they call a diacetyl rest, and I'll actually be lagering the beer when it's ready at that stage. Jamey is making a Smokey porter, which he's done before.
Personal recipe.
One of his own recipes. In fact, this recipe blew my mind because the first time he served it, we were hanging out one day. I didn't realize he had poured a home brew. I thought it was a beer out of a bottle. That's how good this one tasted that he made last time. So he did a good job with it. Oh.
High praise, sparkling amber. This is the one.
Yeah.
And now it's time to get sticky. As much as we hate that, it's just life.
It's life with extract brewing. If we ever graduate to all grain, we won't have that problem.
We'll manage to get sticky somehow, I'm sure.
Probably.
I have faith in us.
Probably. Something, even if it's not even brew stuff, like we stick because of the snack we eat or something.
Why in the world did we decide to eat olives dunked in honey? I don't know, but that's what we're eating, and now we're sticky again.
Now we're sticky, damn it!
It seems like it's a dumb idea. It is.
Well, I have a ladle when you're ready for it.
Oh,
So after you
okay.
pour your beer, you need to drop down that beer so we can do a refill.
Here you go. Since I'm going to be a little busy, he has an interesting question. We have to wait for the question.
Right, no, I'm like, okay. Yeah, let's hear it, man. Let's hear go ahead and post the question and we'll talk about it.
Yeah, we actually love questions because let's be honest, we run out of things to talk about.
Don't worry about Sex Find Pro that's in the chat box there.
Not a friend of ours.
Yeah, we don't know this person or bot or whatever it is. But apparently they're open to dating up to age 93, so.
That's right. Takes Viagra to the next level.
No. His question is cereal just soup for breakfast? Deep philosophical question.
That's not a serious question, man.
That's kind of like asking, like, why do we drive in a parkway but park in a driveway? You know?
Good question. Good
Yeah, I guess it really is technically soup. Most people associate soup with like warm, floppy stuff, but it doesn't always have to be, I guess, huh?
How do you define soup?
All right.
They make things like cold cucumber soup.
Yeah. Your favorite? You got a whirlpool going there, man, dude.
I know. I don't want it to scorch on the bottom.
Yeah,
I can turn my flame off because it's hot and I don't want to touch it again.
Yeah.
Ladle, sir? Of course, didn't help it. I am already sticky.
Well, it happens.
Every single time.
Well, the delay isn't as bad this time. Between
No.
what you're doing, what I'm seeing on the little monitor now.
Not quite as much lag.
Yeah. Only a couple seconds.
We're closer to
That is live what we're seeing there on the computer.
Well, yeah, that's a monitor. That's
extra. Well, no, that's
the
studio.
Well, no, you're looking at YouTube. You're looking at YouTube there.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's super fast because that's before it's gone out to the internet.
Gotcha.
This
is the internet, so.
Yep, that is pre-internet. That has gone out and come back. We're receiving that from YouTube.
So Nathan is asking for what's the answer? I think it is a soup. I agree because it meets the characteristics of soup. Even though it's
Sure.
cold, doesn't detract the fact that it's still soup.
Well, maybe it's more of a chowder. It's a cereal chowder. It's a grain chowder.
Grain chowder.
A cold grain chowder.
Cold grain chowder. I like that. Good job, man.
Because chowders are more milky, like
Right.
milk based, whereas soups are brothy based.
Yeah. Final answer.
Chowder.
Cold breakfast chowder.
That's right.
Cold grain chowder.
That's what we're saying. Chowder. Breakfast cereal is actually just chowder.
It's the chowder. All right. Hi, kiddo. You have a good time? Yeah? Okay.
Yeah, she sounds.
You sound so ecstatic.
Yeah. Did you have a good time? Yeah.
Yeah, it's fine.
It was amazing. You know, sometimes I pity myself for autism. Sometimes I pity for you for normal kids. Timo is never like that, man.
You know what they expect every time.
That kid is honest. He never tries to be cool. Never tries. He's just like, was it great? It was the best ever, Dad. Unless he didn't like it, in which case he's like, no, Dad, I didn't like it.
I didn't like it.
Yeah, man. Jaime's a little bit trickier. Jaime, do you like this?
I'll take that as a no.
Jaime, you have a choice in this world. Spanish or English? Is not either one of those.
Nathan agrees. Cold, but you wrote breakfast chowder.
Breakfast chowder!
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 Cold breakfast chowder. What's up there, you chowder heads?
We're straight out of Compton. We're straight out of Boston. Straight out of Boston.
Boston.
Boston. You know, I got family up by Boston.
I used to. I don't know what happened to them. I think they've all, it sounds terrible. I think they've all passed away.
It's just truthful.
Yeah.
It's just the way you say it that makes it terrible.
Yeah. I think a lot of my family was back east, if you want to say it that way, is passed on. There's probably like children or grandchildren that I'm related to that I don't know about, you know?
Yeah.
Distant cousins or whatever, you know?
I'm pretty into with my parents' side. Wendy's side, oh my gosh.
Pretty big.
And split across, I don't know how many countries. At least two. A lot of them are in Florida. Some of them are in Miami, Missouri. A lot of them are in Missouri.
I saw your question. Yeah.
And a bunch of them are still in Honduras.
Okay.
And they're all cousin. Everyone's a cousin. Everyone.
That's kind of how Brandy's family is. They're from Florida. You know, my wife and my in-laws. The Cape Coral finally got its power back. They've had power for a while now. But
oh yeah. Speaking of which, Nathan's down in Florida.
Yeah, I know. That's why I brought that up. So last broadcast, man, you mentioned. I apologize. I can't remember if you said it was your friend or a brother or somebody you knew was missing. Has there been some resolution on that? Somebody that was in Fort Myers, I think you said they couldn't find somebody. But yeah, no, I get it. Brandy's side of the family is huge. Lots of cousins, lots of this huge family. My side's like 3 of us. You know, that I know of. You know, there's my dad and then there's my uncle. And then my uncle Mike, my uncle Mike's wife Norma, and her family. You know, but as far as like blood relatives, you know, yeah, it's just those two. Everybody else has passed away, man.
Well, yeah, I mean,
but there are,
how many children were there?
There is distant cousins, but I guess we're technically blood related, but we're not in contact. We don't know each other really very well, you know.
Mm-hmm.
We just know each other. We exist. That's about it.
Yeah, no, I get it. So my dad's side, if you just go with my dad, let's see, 3 brothers and 1 sister, so 4 kids on my dad's side.
Yeah.
Of those kids, my dad had 4 kids. My older uncle had 2 kids. My younger uncle had 2 kids, and my aunt had no kids.
Right.
So you got that, and then on my mom's side, you got 4 sisters and 5 kids. So my mom, Kate, Lynn, Gail, and George. So you got 5 right there. And on that side, you got 4 because my mom had 4. Right, so that's kind of double.
Right.
That's my mom and my dad. 3, my aunt and uncle. 1 passed away from epilepsy. That's 2. 2 from my other aunt, none from my uncle, and 1 from my other aunt. So not a huge family, but
Right.
still a little bit of spreading out.
No, I have a direct cousin, my uncle,
Mike?
my uncle Mike. Yeah, his son is my cousin, my direct cousin. I mean, we're friends, but we're not like close or anything. You know what I mean? But like, if I go home to visit, we'll hang out, and drink beer, and that kind of stuff. But we don't talk that much in between visits.
Yeah, the thing is, how many thousand miles away are you?
About 2 or 3 years. So
Yeah, I'm
I
like,
think about 2,000 miles from.
I'm like 5,000 miles from my nearest blood cousin.
Yeah. And I have some distant cousins that lived in Texas.
Oh wait, that's not true. My cousin Leah lives down in Portland. But she lives in Portland, so that should say all you need to know.
Yeah, somebody related to Brandy. My wife lives in Northern California. I'm not sure of the relation though.
Alright, I gotta go wash my hands.
Yeah, that's fine.
Gooey. Nathan's here. Entertain Nathan.
Cape Coral. Yeah, I was asking about your buddy Cape Coral. Because that's where my mother and father-in-law are, Cape Coral. So yeah, he says his buddy has power but no Wi-Fi yet. Yeah, it's crap.
Okay.
So Five Finger Death Punch. Yeah, I like them. They're a little bit later than like my time of music that I was really into, but I think they have a pretty good metalcore sound. In fact, they were
And they're like veterans.
And they're like veterans. Jamey just said, and Jamey and I are both veterans. They were actually just here in Washington recently. They had a show which I did not get to go to, but I did see Lamb of God on Monday. This past Monday. I saw Lamb of God, Killswitch Engage, Spirit Box, and a new band, or a new to me band called Fit for an Autopsy. They were the first opener, and they were cool, man. They had a good metalcore sound. They weren't too bad. I might look into a little further. I was mainly there for Killswitch Engage and Lamb of God, man, because yeah, I've seen Lamb of God. That was my third time seeing Lamb of God. But yeah, what's up with Five Finger Death Punch? Are you about to go see them or something, or what's going on? All right, so I'm gonna fill beers because we need beers.
No, I got that.
Oh, okay.
Right there. I'm already.
Jamie's on point today. Filling the beers.
All right, I'm just gonna switch to. Da, 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 da.
Oh, he's saying that the lead singer Ivan, I guess his name is Ivan Moody, is retiring from Five Finger Death Punch. I didn't know that.
Oh, really? They don't seem like
Is he retiring just because he's done touring? Maybe he's raising a family, or did he get hurt or something? Do you know the backstory? He just seems pretty young, though. That's all. Maybe he made his money. He's like, hey, I'm happy. Screw it. I know some people drop out of the music scene because they have, they want to start a family and stuff.
Talk about screwed up priorities.
Yeah, some of the metal bands Killswitch Engage, man. Some of the previous members like, all right, I'm done. My wife's having a baby. I can't tour and raise a child,
No.
But these bands were never bands that were like Metallica status. You know what I mean? They were popular. They made some money, and but they were just never like radio played kind of things, like common radio stuff. Stuff you'd see on Headbangers Ball.
Not family metal.
Not family metal, no. But no, I'd not heard about that, about the lead singer of Five Finger. Like I said, they were just here like not too long ago, a month or two ago, maybe it's, I think September actually, man. They were here.
A smaller band that I like? I like Small Town Titans.
Yeah, I know. We've been kind of
they're rock and roll. They're
following them since yeah, I think you showed them to me when I first retired in 2017 from the Navy.
Yeah, I was just like, I like them. Although you gotta admit they're not rock, they're not metal at all.
No, they kind of have a. I hope it's not insulting, but they have they remind me of a heavy version of who's that band everybody hates?
Nickelback?
Nickelback, kind of a heavy Nickelback, but heavy Nickelback, not Nickelback at all.
For the record, I don't hate Nickelback. I don't know why people do hate Nickelback. I mean, I don't hate
Nickelback. I don't follow them, but I don't
think they're the next
hate
Beatles. I don't know. Hating Nickelback is like the equivalent of hating REO Speedwagon. It's like, why?
Yeah, see, this is kind of what I thought about. And just clarify a little bit. It says he has missed a bunch of time with his kids, kind of like being in the military, their lives. And he said he wants to be there for them in the next upcoming years for high school. So he's
gonna retire and be a dad. You know, retire from music and be a dad. Good on him, man. Honestly, that's
Well, you
cool.
got to do that.
I mean, yeah, it might
You know?
suck, you know, it sucks for the fans who like the music and all that. His voice is definitely the sound of that band. You know what I mean? He's got his voice is his voice. But yeah,
Buy a CD.
I can't say that I blame him, man. You know,
Buy a CD. He'll be back in 5 minutes.
I can't say that I blame him. That's one of the reasons I retired from the military was I was missing so much of my children growing up because it was just me by myself down south in California while my wife and children are up here in Washington State, you know, where we're doing this. I spent 6 years down there separated from my family because of my military duty. And I was just like, you know, it's time to retire because I'm not getting the orders that where I would like to go, you know, where we can be a family and still serve. So it's time to go.
Duty, Stephen. Duty.
I must do my
duty.
duty.
Duty. But not in the pool. What? Don't do
Yeah,
your
the songs
duty
I've
in the
heard. I
pool.
don't know a lot of the material, but I know the songs that I've heard on the radio or maybe seen YouTube videos. And yeah, it was good. It had a nice good punch to it. I bet they're great live. But I missed that show that was here in September. Have you ever seen them live? Can you attest to their energy, if I may? Like Lamb of God, dude. If you have not seen them live, I highly recommend you go see them if you like that style, that group metal music. You know.
I hate that group. It scared the piss out of me.
Yeah, it scared Jamey one time. It was kind of funny. I'll let him tell you the story though.
What was the name of the song?
Memento Mori was the name of the song.
Memento Mori.
Memento Mori. You were watching the video, you had the lights off and the volume up, and it scared the crap out of you.
Well, so I'm watching the video, and it's like, it starts really slow. And that doesn't bother me. I'm like, nah, I know, it's metal. It's going to go, whoa, real soon.
Right.
And then it didn't. I'm like, that's all right. They're just stretching it. They're like AC/DC. They like the 9-minute intro. It's going to go, whoa, real soon. And then it didn't. I'm like,
Oh, okay.
I thought these guys were metal. This is more like ambient music. What the heck's going? And then it went, blah! And there was the monster face with the sharp teeth jumped out of my monitor and almost killed me, and I fell on the floor. It was horrible.
Yeah, that
Horrible.
was funny. Nathan's going to see them in November 22nd in
God.
Tampa. So, yeah, Five Finger Death Punch.
Five Finger Death.
Yeah, he's going to get a chance to see him. So, oh, yeah, man. Good on you, dude. Hope it's a good show for you. I don't know when I'm going to see a show again. My wife's going to have surgery here in about 3 weeks or so. Hip surgery, a full-arm hip replacement. So, yeah,
Next
she.
year.
Next
Next year,
month.
we're gonna go do my music next
I said
year.
next month.
No, well, I know, but you said you don't know when you're gonna see a show again, and I was saying next year we're gonna go do my music. We're gonna go to the Port Townsend Bluegrass Festival.
Well, okay. Yes.
That's a show.
We're going to see festivals. We're going to enjoy it. What I meant was like a big concert. I don't know when I'm going to go to a big concert again. Is what I meant. Jamie's off camera talking to me if you couldn't tell. Anyway, my alarm's going off, so I have got to attend
You're
to
off
the
camera
dinner.
too, by the way.
What's that?
You're off camera too. We're on podcast.
Oh, that's right. We're on PodCam. It's all vocals at this point.
I really like the way that you faithfully stared into the camera when you were talking. It was good. Good
Yeah.
camera presence.
I forgot PodCam was on. Hope it doesn't sound like I'm taking a leak.
It does, but that's okay.
All right. I forget what I was saying.
Let's adjust pot cam to get both the pots.
There you go. Move the cam over. That'd be cool.
I'm gonna have to back up a little.
That's fine.
Back up, pot cam.
Oh no! I need the. There we go. The catch.
Pot cam needs to back up just a little bit. Wobble, 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 wobble. It's almost like it's walking.
All right. Here, your chickens will enjoy that grain, I'm sure.
If
Oh,
I
I need
remember
my,
to give it to them.
I need my extracts. Well, you know, I have dry malts I can put in too first. Oh, I might try that. Actually, I'm gonna put the dry malts in first. See if that makes a difference.
Well, what kind of difference do you think it would make?
Because I'll get all the foaminess going
Oh, yeah.
before I put the extracts in. Can I use your Kniff? Do you have a Kniff?
I always have it. Just gotta get it out of my pot. Give me a second.
Sure.
be a little careful because right now I think it's dull enough. It might have a hard time cutting butter. It's just acid grease. Don't worry.
It'll be fine.
You'll be fine. We're gonna boil it.
Yeah, I'm not worried about it.
Everything's sterile. I don't think anything survives off axle grease anyways.
Probably not. Good thing it's only a pound of dry malt.
You know, I don't understand why. Like this recipe. So this is their recipe, right?
Yeah, that's one of theirs.
We need to ask them why they did 2 things of. Oh, by the way, should I?
Probably because they only wanted so many. They didn't want too much fermentable in there, so it keeps the ABV more controllable. And
Yeah, I guess because these little
Less
buggers come
mouthfeel.
in. They come in 3.3 pound packages. That's what you got.
right. So it's 6.6 pounds of liquid, and then they add a pound of this, you get a little bit over 7 pounds. So it limits the amount of fermentables in there. I mean, that's the only thing I can think of. Because if you have, 9 pounds of fermentables, the ABV might be like way through the roof for this kind of beer.
Well, from what I've read, as far as the sugars and everything, there's no difference. It's like dry malt is just dehydrated more. That's
Right.
all.
It's just, if you want a smaller amount, you can get a pound of it instead of 3.3 pounds.
Yeah, we probably need to go all grain. It's probably about time.
I agree. Enter that all grain world. It really does not add that much more time to the process. Because you're still only, even when you're making your malts, you're still steeping. It's almost like what we're doing with the
Well, do you do the steeping process?
yeah, you only heat your malting water up to like 100, let's just say 170 degrees, and then you have all your, you have a lot more grain in there because, you got to draw all those sugars out.
Right, but my question is, do you do the steeping process that we do?
No, what most people do is they just put it all together.
Right, it's all in the mash.
It's all in a mash, and then they mash their grains, and then in the end it comes out, and then they get the boil, and then they put the hops in there and go.
Take a glance over there and see what Nathan's saying. Actually, when you get some free hands, hand me the monitor back, and I will.
Does totally sound like you took it to the bathroom, probably because of the way the camera microphone is.
Yep.
All right, I need my malt.
There's
There's
one.
one.
That one's ready to go. Already peeled the foil and everything. So.
Oh, thanks, man.
Hey, man, I am here for you.
Take this out because that doesn't be there.
We're the brewmeisters, man.
Brewmeisters.
Gotta watch out for each other.
Most professional broadcast this side of the Columbia River.
Ain't that the truth?
All right. Let's get some whirlpool action going.
I'll say this for us. I don't know of any other beer broadcasters that go live every 2 weeks.
Not that I know of. I mean, there might be some, but
There's plenty of beer videos out there, but they're usually polished, edited videos.
right?
We don't edit nothing.
All the
Nothing.
mistakes and frustrations, it all gets put on
The
there.
boilovers, the foul language, the yelling at the kids. You're getting real life. This is reality TV right here.
Yeah, no kidding, huh?
Mainly because we just don't have time to edit anything. It's like, just watch this. This is the best we got. I gotta go to work. I can't edit this.
Yeah, we have full-time lives ahead besides brewing beer, and we're broadcasting it at least,
I mean, don't get us wrong. This is pretty important to us. As can be evidenced by the fact that we are pretty faithful.
Yeah.
Although, did Nathan? So we are gonna have the schedule's gonna get a little wonky here. I'm going on vacation, and so here in November, Thanksgiving, Christmas time frame, we might not be quite as faithful. But back in the new year, we'll come back and get back to our regular 2-week schedule. Right? Is that what we said?
I mean, before New Year, maybe New Year will be a little more. What's going to happen is we're going to have one more broadcast after this, and then we'll be on hiatus for a few weeks until after Thanksgiving. We'll probably
Right.
have a broadcast, maybe 2 in December,
Right.
and I'm not sure what's going to happen. We might have to wait till after the New Year then. You know.
So Christmas is not such a big deal for me. I mean, you know, because
Well, we're not. I don't think we're doing it. We're just going to be here. So.
right. Well, I'm just saying because you know, like religiously speaking.
Oh, right.
You know, for my church, Christmas is important, but Easter is the big one for my church. Easter is the one where we stop the world and go to the church services. Although we do a Christmas service, and of course it happens at midnight because you know everything needs to happen at midnight. Yep. Never quite understood that, to be honest.
It's like thinking, you're like, you know, I don't understand why it all happened at midnight.
I mean, you really got to think about this. Like back in the day.
You're getting ready to boil. Yeah.
I need to. This happens to me often. I get chatting, and then we get to chatting, and then I forget that I'm about ready to boil. All right, it's time to concentrate. Concentrate, Nathan. You never did hand me the monitor.
Well, we can't really do anything with it right now.
You're right. You're just going to have to suffer from us ignoring you. We're ignoring you now, Nathan. But not ignoring you all at the same time.
Not trying to. We're just. Oh no!
Oh, what was that?
My thermometer.
Oh no.
It's out of calibration now.
They're cheap.
All right. What's he saying? He says, "All good. The holidays will get a bit wonky." Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah,
People
and that's
traveling. You know, I don't think we're not traveling this year because of my wife's surgery, but
right.
normally we would. We'd either travel to Florida and go see my wife's family, or we'd go to Texas to see my family. We try to. Well, before the big plague, we would trade off. You know, one year her family would get Christmas, the next year my family, and so forth.
Yeah, and seriously, if we were a big production, like a real production, we'd edit a past episode and somehow automate it so it showed. So if you really wanted to spend Christmas watching two guys talk about beer and other stuff instead of hanging with your friends, you know what? Don't watch us during Christmas. Let's just put that out there.
It'll be a distraction from the things that are really important.
Yeah, we will be back in the new year. We're not gonna replay an old episode. Nothing. No. Do not tune in to the Northwest Brewmeisters and Christmas.
All right, I'm gonna go rinse my hands because I know I'm gonna get sticky.
Yep. You got your flame on? Okay.
I do. I just gotta turn it up.
I'm still getting mine under control. And he left without. As you know, good Nathan, you don't want this to be too crazy. And you are right. This is much more complex than mead. I think that ought to do it. That's pretty close to a rolling boil. I would call that a rolling boil, wouldn't you? You know, if I could see your comments, you might be agreeing with me. Or maybe not. I'm going to get up, which you can't see because we're on pot cam. Pot cam! And I'm going to get some hops.
I'm gonna have to mop this garage again.
Ooh, right. Where are the hops?
They're right there in the fridge.
In this fridge?
Yeah, they're in that fridge. Never thought I'd hear myself say I gotta mop a garage.
We've done it more than once.
Yeah.
This is Willamette.
Let's get some flavor on there. Willamette is yours.
Yep. And that's my 60-minute hops.
Yeah, mine are the German Hallertau, or whatever they call those.
And Mittelfrüh. Mittelfrüh, yeah. So yeah, last night, I did the two songs that are ready for the album, right? I did The Best Beer and I did Drink 'Em All, and they were both very well received. Like I said, there was a group of folks there. They were from a church. I don't know what church they were from, but they're actually thinking about putting on a Christmas show. And they said, "Yeah, we're thinking about. What do you think about that?" I was like, "Yeah, man, give me your number. I'll let the boys play in your Christmas show."
That's cool. That should be nice.
So that'll be another thing that's happening in Christmas. Maybe you could tune into my YouTube channel during the Christmas time, and you might be able to see that. Depends. I found that a lot of folks just are not that great at They're not that great at the technology side of things.
All right, so
Okay, I gotta start my timer because that I just added.
like this, so you get the heat. Trying not to squirt to the bottom of my pot like I usually do. Yeah, you've got it boiled.
Yep.
I can see your boil going.
And I just added my hops. That's the most important thing.
There you go.
All right, I'm rocking.
Pot cam is hot to try.
Hot to try.
Just name that movie.
Hot cam, hot to try. Blazing Saddles. I don't think I'm right. Okay, we can go back to normal cam for a little bit.
All right. Hey, do you want Irish mosh for yours? I don't have any more for the other stuff.
Don't worry about it.
Because I was gonna fill the teaspoon for you.
I forget so very often that it's just.
It goes in at the 15-minute mark.
I know, so I've got time to change my mind.
All right. Well, that's fine. You can chill.
I don't know what its purpose is other than
clarifying.
Yep.
So it's its sole purpose. It's
that's
clarifying.
its sole purpose, and I'm not really worried about it.
It's like putting a roll clock in there, but just supposed to be natural. But,
You want me to run the monitor?
Yeah, you run the monitor because it's your device.
Okay. And no lie.
I'll drink beer and no things. You run the monitor. And eat peanut butter filled pretzels.
Those are good
Oh,
pretzels.
the video is backwards now. You were on that side before.
Really?
Yeah. Kind of weird.
How about that? You switch sides. That is a problem. Interesting.
Oh well, it'll be fine.
Okay, so Nathan, am I on the left or the right, as per your perspective?
We're gonna one and only loyal viewer to troubleshoot with us.
It should be on the left. This is on the left. Bobcat Goldwave.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Which
now.
movie?
Hot to Trot.
Oh, that was the movie.
Yeah.
Hot to Try. You know, I never saw
I
that.
forgot about that guy. I haven't seen that guy around in years on TV or anything.
You know, I only watched him. I watched some of his stand-up, which was funny, and I watched him in the Police Academy movies.
Right.
But I never saw any of the other movies that he did. Were they amusing and interesting?
I don't remember. I did see him. It was like an interview kind of thing. 5, 6, 7 years ago.
Mr. Ed. He was in Mr. Ed. He did a remake of Mr. Ed.
Yes, he did.
Wow. Or a movie.
His like palsy, whatever he had. I guess the drugs had changed. He was a little more in control during this interview. That was what do they call that? You know?
Did he have a health problem?
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was his shtick.
No, it's kind of a palsy thing.
But I remember I used to talk like this.
Yeah.
You know, and that was his thing, but I didn't know that was.
No,
I didn't know that was a palsy problem.
we need to go clean this later before we hit the floor. It's got to go in the beer when I'm cooling it.
Yes, after the boiling sanitization process.
You ready to put your hops in?
Yep. And I started my timer.
Oh, yeah.
I'm on top of this.
Hop stuff.
Yeah. Okay, so we look right. We look correct to
That's fine. Even if it didn't, then oh well, you know.
yeah, it's not like we can troubleshoot that right now.
But remember, I was like, hey, bring yourself in, because I was seeing you on that side of the monitor.
Well, if you switch over to, so you're looking at the OBS right now.
That's probably why.
If you select the YouTube, it'll probably look more like that.
Yeah. Which is actually the same thing. OBS and that are looking. That is YouTube. They look like the same thing.
Which is the way it should look.
So the YouTube studio is where we were reversed.
That makes sense.
Oh yeah. Let me get my.
What if,
Get my.
so we got to warn you, Nathan. Today, because we're back in the garage and because our equipment is scattered much further across places, we'll probably end the broadcast a lot sooner. Garage broadcasts are shorter. And then in the summer, we'll do our standard 3-hour broadcast.
Yeah. Oh, this makes it a little warm. It just makes
Yeah.
it easier because we're spread out.
If we ever do get a setup where everything's inside and controlled and awesome lights, cool acoustics, audio control, and a production team named Heather.
Yeah.
You good?
Production team named Heather.
The whole team's named Heather. Probe it, but only when she is ready. Okay, so I'm not gonna lie, I'm missing what I said that makes what you said funny. What did I say? Probe it, but only when she is ready. What am I probing? Probing? Probing.
I don't know.
I must have said something. Probe it, but only when she is ready. Like a turkey?
You have successfully confused Jamey.
I are confused. I are confused.
Come on, phone unlock. Thank you. 1 hour?
You just had your hops?
No, I'm not blowing yet.
I was gonna say that is the calmest boil I've ever seen.
No, I was having sending by. Yeah.
No problem. Do your process as you see fit. Thank you. I shall. I'm so confused. This is why we need to not respond to the crowd. Even though we do every time.
I was about to say the whole point of the crowd is to respond to them, you know.
You are right.
Our one crowd.
Ignore what I just said. We're gonna go back to pot cam now. Pot cam.
That's a decent boil you got there.
Yeah, that's moving. It's right on the edge of too aggressive, but I'm gonna let it sit like that for a bit.
Yeah. It'll be fine. It'll be fine.
It'll be fine.
You try to mess with it too much, it's just gonna be like up, down, up, down,
Yeah,
up, down.
then
up,
it
down.
goes away completely, you know, and then it boils over like it did that one night.
Oh yeah, I don't want to screw with that, man. Just let it roll, man. There is no written rule on the level of boil. It just says boil.
What says rolling is usually what it says, but
Yeah.
a lot of those videos that we've watched together, it's like, wow,
Some of those people had aggressive boils going, yeah.
it's like that's like the mud pots in Yellowstone.
No, I like interacting with our. I mean, right now we just have one viewer, but still fun. Interact.
Sure.
Because if we're not interacting with somebody that's watching us, we're just rambling on or not even saying anything. We're just
Because
kinda
we
like,
run out of things
you
to
know?
talk about. That's the problem. It's like,
Yep. I meant to do that.
it's okay, he didn't see it. Because we're on pot cam. Well,
Nope.
I saw a little bit of it.
I saw a little bit
You
of it.
definitely heard it.
Definitely heard it. No, I dropped the pretzels. Thankfully, the lid was still on there and secure.
Pretzels everywhere.
I'm not a 5-second rule guy. They would have been swept up and thrown in the garbage.
Nonsense. I'm a 5-second rule guy. I would have just ate them all. Maybe not. This garage floor is kind of grody.
Yeah, I don't want to do that out here, man. There's probably like bug spray. Who knows what's on the floor out here?
Got white stuff there. That looks like cat hair mixed with grass.
Probably is.
And Steve left. He's gone. This is the point where his will start to boil and try and boil over. And I won't be able to reach it in time to turn it off. Cool, he's back before that happens.
What's that?
Well, the last time you left like that, your stuff tried to boil over.
Well,
And I
thankfully nothing's
got-
even close to boiling.
Caught in my chair, I couldn't get to it.
Oh.
Although right now I can.
No, we're fine.
Got
I'm not
enough
even anywhere
room,
near
I can
boiling.
Get it. He says he saw that.
All right. So next year, man, yeah, you should try to attend some of those festivals and music things that are happening.
We do the bluegrass one and the guitar festival.
Maybe
They
they'll do
charge
some-
money though. They're like $60 a ticket.
Yeah, that's all right. It might be worth it. I mean, $60. That's
I think
pricey.
they're usually like 3-day tickets though.
Hmm.
You know, it's like $60-$75 for
the
all
whole,
3
the whole
days.
weekend kind of thing. Yeah. Well, I'm sure there's all kinds of things going on besides the music, food, probably beers, beer gardens.
Yep.
All kinds of things. So where's that guitar festival? You mentioned it, but I forgot.
That's
what
on
you
the
told
island. It's down south.
me. That's right. Yeah, we should do that. I know it's not going to be like a metal shredder guitar thing, but
No, it will
you know.
be about the exact opposite. It's gonna
But
be
this'll be
classical
fun- this'll
guitar,
be fun to
jazz
watch,
guitar.
probably some mandolins and lutes and stuff. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
No, it'd be fun to go to. Just to get out and do something different.
Yeah, man. It'll be a hoop.
Bluegrass Festival. We haven't done that since when we do that one time.
Like 10
2017.
years ago?
10 years ago?
I don't
I thought when I
know.
first retired, we did one.
Nope. We were both still active the last time we
Oh,
did that.
okay.
We did it because there's that other guy. I was still. Where was I? No, that's a different one I'm thinking about. It's got to be 2017 then. Something right after you retired. But yeah. There we go. And you've got DME, so you better be on top of that.
Yeah.
It'll go right up and out of that pot.
I'm doing stabilization triage now. Just gonna get it nice and stable. And I'll put my hops in there. Either way, I look forward to doing some things next year.
I think it'll be fun.
If any good shows come, I'll consult you and see if you want to go. Any bigger style things, I don't think we're gonna get another Tool concert, but the Tool will go on tour like once every 10 years, kind of thing.
It's gotta be something crazy has to happen in the world. Like Trump needs.
You're
to
kind of a
elect
1%er, man. You got to see Tool,
it. Nice. I feel awesome, and I'm like doing the whole awesome metal hand thing. And even though we're on pot cam, so why?
Nobody can see it.
Nobody can see it except for you, and you weren't looking.
No, I'm watching my boil because
Which you should be doing because
stabilization's important.
it is.
All right. 1 ounce of Hallertau Mittelproof going in. Low alpha acid, man. Interesting for a bittering hop, but that's right. Thought that counts. Excuse me.
It's not the thought that counts.
I was being silly. I was being silly. But Oktoberfest aren't bitter beers either. They tend to be kind of sweet. Not like candy sweet, but they're not exactly IPA, pale ale type bitters,
Right. They're a little more mellow.
All right, first batch of hops is in. Give you a nice swirly stir. Get you nice and mixed.
I should probably check when my next hops are supposed to go in.
All right, let's get your boil going, and I'll hit the timer. Yeah.
10 minutes.
Yeah, I believe my second round goes in at the 15-minute mark.
So riddle me this, friend Steve. Is that wort chiller sitting in a bucket full of Star Sand solution?
It is.
No, so we don't need to boil it.
Nope, that was intentional.
Yeah, because we always have to readjust our boils
Yeah.
every time we throw it in
Nope,
there.
I put it in Star Sand solution, put 5 gallons of water in there, put 1 ounce of Star Sand, scrubbed it first with a brush to get all the chunkies off, and then I submerged it right in there. So it'll be good.
Excellent.
All right, that was a good boil, I think. I'm gonna run with that one right there.
Yep, I would call that textbook.
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 And starting 1 hour. That's even slightly aggressive.
A little bit. Well, I gotta tell you, brother. I think it's time for a new computer for me.
Yeah?
Oh yeah, the battery lasts about
Second?
half an hour. No, a little longer than that. Half an hour,
Oh, okay.
and then it dies. It goes from 40 to sleep mode like that.
Yeah, one of my older laptops, it was like that. After about 6-7 years on that laptop, it still ran fine for a laptop, but yeah, the battery did not hold a charge for anything, you know. So.
And I don't know. That's a mid 2012. So that fucker's
10 years old, man. That's crazy. Well, it is a Mac, so it is kind of expected for it to last that long. A PC-based laptop, it's 10 years old, is an anomaly, I think.
I had a PC-based laptop, and it just died.
Yeah.
You know, it just wouldn't run anymore.
I have one. It's not 10 years old, but it's. I bought it in 2014. I want to say October of 2014. I use it on deployments, and when I went to the desert and all that stuff, I took it with me.
Mm-hmm.
My daughter uses it now, but it's so old that it doesn't do much. I mean, I think she can play Minecraft on it and check her email. That's about it, you know.
Well, and then there's my G5, which is 17 years old.
Right.
Now,
That thing
granted,
struggles though, man.
Well, it doesn't do internet at all.
No. I mean, you use it for one thing only.
It does photo editing pretty good.
Oh, okay.
I actually use it for 3 things. I do music, right? Because it actually records audio really well. Although, if I want to use like fake sounds, sample libraries, MIDI stuff, the MIDI sounds in the sample libraries are not that amazing.
Just for the record, Nathan, if you can see the actual, details of my boil, textbook. We always have fun with that.
Textbook.
Textbook.
But it does live music.
Right.
As far as actual audio, it does it fantastic.
Sure.
And of course I have Adobe Creative Suite 3, which is ancient software too. But as far as human perception goes, when I Photoshop a picture, it's as good as anything else, And so I use that for making like posters for the boys' concerts and stuff, or
Gotcha.
screwing around. And then I do use my scanner a lot for very simple basic functions, which have become bedrock like standards, like sending PDFs. That's not a complicated thing. And I use it as a server. I've got it networked in the house, and so I store stuff on it and I link to it with the other machines.
Sure.
But you're absolutely right. If I make the mistake of hitting like Safari on there, like accidentally click it, it's like, oh, here we go.
It's like being at a computer at work sometimes. The computers where I work, man, it's just like, why are we using these ancient relics?
Yeah. Well, it really doesn't make sense in a company that's, working for the military.
Yeah, but the company isn't providing the assets. These are all the standard assets that the military provides for all their work centers.
That's my point.
We're just using the same NMCI crap that anybody else uses.
So yeah, Nathan, next time you see that it'll be great when the schools are fully funded and the military has to hold a bake sale. Guess what, buddy? The military has to hold bake sales to get equipment. It's true. I've been there. It's like, you want me to use this?
He's saying this because I can't remember if I mentioned you or not. My job I'm a contractor, so I work for a company, but my company is contracted by the government to provide services to a Navy squadron. So I work as a jet mechanic as a civilian jet mechanic for a Navy squadron, though, if that makes much sense. And so, a lot of our maintenance is tracked on computer. There's certain systems the Navy uses to track everything that happens on their aircraft, which that makes sense. But the problem is the Windows and the PCs and the version of Windows we're using is like feels like it's like 15 years old. I'm exaggerating, but it's just like, can this get any slower? You have the monitor, so I can't tell if he said anything.
Oh.
So I wasn't gonna get up and try to cross over stuff.
Let's take a check.
I'd probably just trip more than likely.
Nope. The last thing he did was give you a hard time because he saw you drop the pretzels.
Oh. So he probably puts us on and goes and does other things, which I would do too, and just kind of catches up when he's back in the room. It's like, oh, okay, the guys did something. Or maybe he's listening to us the whole time. Maybe it's earbuds. I don't know. But
There's some folks.
that's what I would do. I would put the broadcast on with earbuds in and go do other things, and then just kind of listen, and then come back and respond when it was needed.
Well, yeah. Especially for really long broadcasts
Oh,
like
yeah.
ours. I mean, geez, that is.
I mean, not to detract from our own work, but we're not that exciting, man. If you think about it. And we talk about some fun things sometimes, but we're not exactly that excited. I know you look offended right now, but you can't see him, but he looks offended.
It's an act.
Um,
No, I get it. We're not Joe Rogan. Of course, then again, I don't get Joe Rogan either.
but I think what maybe might keep some interest is that we talk about various things, and just happen to brew beer at the same time.
Oh, yeah. Well, sure. I think we're funny. I think we're freaking hilarious. I've watched
Well, no, I
replays.
enjoy what we do, but I don't think that we're just some super like, oh my gosh, look at these guys, and they're amazing. It's just not what our show is.
That's because we don't.
Our
talk
show
about
is talking about stuff and laughing at comments, from our one loyal viewer. Which we love that. We love the
Our
fact
fan.
that you're still loyal, man.
Yes, we do love that, actually.
We used to have another one. My nephew used to watch us regularly, but he doesn't watch us anymore. So
Well, I mean, you got to think at least Nathan makes mead, and so he's in the same
Oh yeah,
world.
yeah. He's into the fermentation world with us.
Your nephew is 13 at this point.
He was 13. Yeah.
Yeah, 13.
No, I know. He was just logging into social support. I know that. He doesn't brew beer, obviously. But maybe when he's older, maybe he might. I don't know. Maybe I'll get that text one day. Uncle Steve, how do I do this?
Like, didn't you watch all 1,753 episodes of
Go
Northwest
Go
Brewmeisters?
watch episode 59. They'll answer your question.
What happens if this happens? Episode 192. That happened to us
Twice.
in the same episode. It was bad. That was not a child-friendly episode.
Not safe for work. No, that's even sexual, but you know what I mean.
Well, what if your work's a Baptist church?
I guess beer brewing would be not safe for work.
This
No,
whole
what
thing is not safe for work then. Should you be talking about military secrets? We are not talking about
No
anything.
secret, man. No, you're right. I would never talk about any kind of secret I'm sworn to uphold.
But we know the line.
Yeah.
I mean, we really do.
No, just go to any garage, any mechanic. They have a computer that probably tracks their maintenance. It's no different than what I do on the aircraft. It's a software system that tracks everything that happens to a particular aircraft. The software itself isn't so bad. It's just our Windows machines that we use are just like archaic sometimes.
So my grandfather, when he was,
What was that?
that was the Amen name.
Oh,
Right under your right foot, which is on the left side of your left leg. You have your feet crossed.
yeah, like the white stripes.
You're going to get us tagged for plagiarism.
No,
By the way, if you haven't seen Metal Lords, you should go watch it. It was great.
Yeah.
But before my grandfather passed away, at one point, he asked, because he was,
wow, it's alive. I
Hey.
literally just pulled this thing out of my beer. It's still, look, it's crawling.
he's drunk. What is it? Is it a spider?
No, a little fly bug, some kind. Not a fly, but like a little gnat or something. It was in my beer, and I just rescued it, and it's actually alive.
Protein.
It's got to be hammered, though.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure it's smashed.
I mean, it's tiny.
Like 1 ounce of beer is probably enough to Are you really gonna save that micro thing?
I don't know where it went. It jumped off me anyway.
Tried to fly, crashed, died.
Don't fly. Don't drink and fly. I guess. You're a bug.
What are your views about so-called aliens, extraterrestrial? You know, we had this discussion.
We actually have. Yeah.
Was it on camera or was it just outside?
No, I think it was just you, me, hanging out, drinking beer.
It was actually we could roll with that one.
Yeah.
So our discussion on extraterrestrials was actually in relation to Christianity, believe it or not. And the whole thing is like, would the discovery of aliens negate all of Christianity? And my answer, because I'm the Christian one, what do you consider yourself? Non-religious? Agnostic?
It's not non-religious.
Non-religious. So I'm Christian, and Steve's non-religious. Let me itch myself there like a gorilla. Sorry, it had to happen. Joe Rogan would never do that.
Man
Or
show.
maybe he would. Yes, man show. Yeah. Well, come on, we got all the right things. Men, beer guts,
Yeah.
beer.
True.
We're allowed to do this on our show.
But no, you're right. We did have that conversation, and that was one of the areas we discussed was would proof of existence of aliens negate the existence of Christianity or deity. And I know your stance
Yeah, a
was like-
deity.
your
Well,
stance
let's
was like
take it away from Christianity and
Yeah.
just go a
a
deity.
deity. Yeah.
Some god.
If I recall, your stance was like, no, I don't think it would.
No, because and then we'll go back down to Christianity. The Christian Bible was written to the Christians. And just like the Talmud and the Torah, that was written to the Jews. Those people, these creatures in this planet, that's what these texts relate to.
Right.
They don't relate to these Zorkonians.
Yeah.
What? What's wrong with Zorkonian? It's a good name.
It just sounds funny.
What would you call them?
I don't know.
Zorkonians it is.
There's Zorkonians then.
The Zorkonians.
Zorkonians.
Zarkonians. It's a long O. Anyways, point being, so you've got this alien race. Their sacred text would be written. Let's pretend. Let's go with the assumption that God exists. So any text that he had written to that race would relate to their existence.
Sure, it'll all be relative to their point of view, their belief system.
Right, and so for example, in Christianity, of course, we have Christ, which is a savior figure. He's a messianic figure, right? He comes down, and he comes from heaven, assumes humanity, and then dies on the cross as a sacrifice for our sins. Which, by the way, different expressions of Christianity view Christ's crucifixion and what it accomplished in different ways. Like the Protestants tend to view it as very much a sacrifice. There has to be a blood sacrifice for sins. Whereas Orthodoxy, my expression of Christianity, we view it more of the whole thing that Christ experienced the entirety of human existence, including death. And he went into death, and then of course he defeated death by being resurrected. Which is why Christmas is kind of like, yay, Christmas. I mean, we like Christmas, it's fun. But the big one is Easter for us. Anyhow, the point is aliens or extraterrestrials would not negate the reality or the existence of God, because anything that he had written, because the Christian Bible or the Jewish Talmud, and even if you accept them, the Islamic text, those are all written to humans in a very specific place, right? They're not written to Martians. We'll just go with Martians just for, because everybody knows Martians, right? They're not written to the Martians. The Martians had a different example. Maybe the Martians maybe they never, quote unquote, bit the apple, as it were, right? And so they didn't need a messianic figure to come in and experience. Maybe their communion with God was never broken. They were always in communion. And then, we're still talking about aliens. Just wanted to make sure that he hadn't added something to the conversation. It's like maybe that wasn't broken, because that is really the core of Christianity. It's not the sin thing. It's the fact that, so in the Garden of Eden, if you go all the way back to Genesis, God and humanity commune together. You lost your boil, buddy.
Easy fix.
Easy fix.
It's there. It just wasn't go as much.
So anyways, when Adam ate the fruit, right? It's not necessarily an apple, but just for whatever. So when he ate the apple, that severed the perfect communion between God and man, or God and humanity, right? And so that kicked off the whole story, and that's why the whole thing happened. And it's possible that an alien race, they never made that mistake. They're Adam, you know, when his wife came up and said, "Hey, eat this," he's like, nope, don't think so. Hey, kiddo.
Careful if you come in through here.
Scoot
there's a
behind
cord
the
there.
scoot behind the laptop.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's a cord here, so it should be okay.
Thank you.
That's unlocked.
That's unlocked. Awesome.
Right. This happens to Joe Rogan all the time, by the way.
Oh yeah.
His daughter's friends walk into his studio and then.
Right. So my take on it, were you done or were you still going?
I guess I could stop there because I guess the only tag is, remember we talked about C.S. Lewis and his Martian Chronicles.
Right.
And in that, of course, that's a fictitious story. It's a fantasy story. But in that story, there were the quasars out there. And evil somehow had only come to our solar system. And the quasars were like a fence that kept it in here. And then one human somehow got sucked out of our solar system, and he went and visited these other aliens, and they were kind of shocked at his views and at his, thoughts and the way things are. They're like, of course we commune with this deity, and I don't know if I didn't read them very closely.
Right.
They're fun, by the way. They're just fun sci-fi. It's like fun sci-fi that you can just get into. C.S. Lewis was a really great author.
There was the silver chair.
Yeah, but
one of the stories when I was a kid and all that.
Anyways, what's
my take on it? My take on aliens and all that is, I don't necessarily, ascribe to the little green men, the gray men kind of vision of what aliens are, but I do find it hard to believe that if the vastness of the universe is true as astronomy, dictates and all that, I find it hard to believe that we're the only intelligent life out there. But I think what makes it difficult is just those vast distances between us and other stars that have, solar systems on it. I think that's where the problem is the universe isn't old enough yet, potentially, to where other civilizations have created the technology to bridge that gap. I mean, just look at the Milky Way galaxy alone, our one galaxy by itself that we live in, billions of light years across. So who's to say there isn't a star in the same arm length that we're in that has habitable life on it?
I pay resurrection.
Dealer's choice. And so
resurrection.
So we're just one galaxy, and supposedly there's billions of galaxies with billions of stars in each galaxy out there. So I mean, you do like a permutation or a probability thing. It's like there's got to be life somewhere else. Is it little green men with big eyes and little slit mouths? No, I don't think so. But I just find it hard to believe, if everything is true, that we're the only living people out there. So that's my take, man.
What if it's hydrogen-based gaseous entities?
Right. Only human arrogance would assume that an alien life looks like another human. They could be some other life form completely. Of
course, the flip side is without the ability to communicate with something.
Right. We don't know because we can't communicate with anybody else yet. I say yet because I'm optimistic. I might be long dead and gone before that happens, but I'm optimistic that there'll come a time where we might resurrection. Okay, there might come a time where we will make true contact with somebody else out there, whether they're humanoid, I'm just going to say it that way, or crystalline or liquid or whatever the hell they are, Anyway, Nathan, I know it's probably way more than you were asking, man, but we just, it's so fresh in our mind because we just had the conversation. And so that's our view, man. That's how we kind of view aliens out there. Yeah.
Well, to keep it going, though, I mean, if you come from an evolutionary standpoint, evolution, right?
Mm-hmm.
You absolutely have to say it has to have happened somewhere else. Because evolution is based on this premise that because of the huge amounts of time, it was just a probability that life would happen. That's kind of where evolution comes from.
The way they're saying is like the Swiss cheese lined up kind of thing.
Right. The argument to that is like, we've never seen it. Well, we've only been around for 5,000 years or so, however long humans have been making some sort of records.
Right. Yeah.
And records
that's-
we can
that's the
actually
threshold.
read and reference.
Record
is like,
keeping is the threshold. I think humans are around longer. Humans run around longer than that, or at least humanoids on this planet. Whether if the monkey theories are true, but yeah, record keeping is the key right there. How long have we been actually keeping a written record of something? You know.
right, but then again, we can look into archaeological
Yeah.
and geological records and see things, and it's like there's nothing there. We're not seeing anything. Although they have these cool pictures of Europa with what look like roads all over it.
Mhm.
It's like, okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, I've seen those pictures. They're created by. They're not roads, obviously, but they're created by shifting rocks and stuff. I thought, and ice, because ice would move.
Right.
Create these ruts. I think is what was going on. It was created by ice, wasn't it?
I didn't look into the Europa thing. It was kind of clickbaity, so I didn't click on it. But do you remember the famous walking rocks down? They're in North America.
Yeah. It's in Death Valley in California.
Right.
Yeah, no, they've actually solved that.
Right, big sheets of ice.
Yeah,
that's what it
it
is.
gets so cold there.
And the wind comes across there and it pushes that whole sheet of ice and it
Yeah.
grabs that rock.
It's gonna go
and
with
just
it.
pushes it. Yeah. So it's really disappointing, to be honest. If you think about it, it's like this cool mystery, and it's like
the
this
premise was
really
How are these rocks moving?
super boring. Yeah, it's just a big chunk of ice
Like
that's blown
that's
by the wind.
it.
That's
Yeah.
it. There's absolutely nothing amazing or magical or mysterious. It's not like some super mineral that
Right.
magnetically moves. No, it's just a big chunk of ice pushes the rock along, just like the glaciers. Same process happened everywhere. So we have more input from our super fan.
What's up? What is
He says Adam was given free will to be earth fruit. Okay, wait a minute. Adam was given free will to eartha fruit that.
You might be typing on the phone. You might be
Think so.
Funky.
But the last part of it is good because it says.
It just popped up with something there.
Oh. Anyways, his comment was Adam was given free will to eat the fruit. Oh, eat the fruit, eat the fruit, eat the fruit, eat that fruit, eat that fruit. So Adam was given free will to eat the fruit, but Eve was a caring.
That is funny.
We like that. Okay. Probability that Earth, this planet, this distance from our star, and we are the only one in galaxy, is asinine. Yeah, and
he and I are kind of on the same page there. Are on the same page. It's just like there's got to be more, man.
Yeah, well, there's got to be more, or I mean, that very statement could go both ways. It's like, look, there has got to be something out there. Somewhere there is another rocky planet that hosts some form of life that is a proper distance from a star to give it enough heat, but not too much heat.
Right.
To support a life form.
I mean, look how many stars are just in this galaxy alone, and then you have how many galaxies out there? A billion or more galaxies, yeah.
Right. But the flip side
in
is
the words of Carl Sagan, billions and billions.
Indeed. Good old Carl. But the flip side is that very statement can be taken by the let's go with creationists anyways, but it's just like, or intelligent design folks at least.
Okay.
And they can be like, yeah, exactly. The probability of one planet, only one, being this perfect. I mean, that's not chance.
Yeah.
Somebody said, I'm going to make this, which is kind of where I come down. Now, I don't necessarily, back when I was younger and less educated, I definitely was more of a fundamentalist. Things like, how long did it take to make the world? 6 days. How long? 144 hours. That's 6 days. It's like, are you sure about that? Absolutely. 6 days, right? Now I'm a little less firm on that.
Somebody's buzzing right here.
But again, the fact that it's not 6 literal days doesn't damage the belief in a creator that made it all happen. How he made it happen is his thing. The problem with the whole science theology debate is that there very much are, not all of them, there are scientists who are truly scientists, and they're trying to figure it out. And they will give credence to the thought. It's like we are figuring out how this entity did it. They're not saying that they believe in the entity necessarily, but they won't discount him out of hand.
Right.
2 dogs, a child, and a man.
Oh, I know. But I thought the dog might have shit over there.
PG solid.
So I was just like, if that dog shit, I hope you pick it up. It's my yard.
So anyhow, there are scientists out there that are true scientists. Then there are other scientists who tend to be a little louder in the social front,
Sure.
who use every piece of science to say, this proves God doesn't exist. And of course it doesn't. Of course, God is metaphysical. He's the ultimate conspiracy theory. Nothing you can do can prove that God does not exist. You can't prove something doesn't exist. You really can't. The only thing you can do is fail to prove its existence. That's like a empirical science thing.
Right.
You cannot prove non-existence. You can't do that. It's like, well, you just haven't found it yet. But you can disprove. You know, it's funky. I lost my track of my thought.
So I
It's
only
really
have
good
35 minutes left, which means you have less time left. So we should probably
I have
step
19.
down off soapboxes
Yeah,
and
you're right.
Because we still got to get carboys ready. We still got to rinse gear.
Yep.
Yeah.
So Nathan being in the garage does mean that we got a lot less. We have less time when things kick and we have to rinse and stuff. We're just gonna go ahead and kill the broadcast. Thank you very much for tuning in.
Yeah, man.
You know,
yeah, appreciate
you are
joining us.
definitely our loyal viewers, singular. Hope you're sharing this. You know, spread it across your social media. Let people know that most amazing. There's like Joe Rogan and then the Northwest Brewmeisters way up here.
Right,
Yes.
right.
Dude, you need confidence. All right. So, Nathan, thanks for hanging in there. As always, man, relax.
Don't worry.
Have a
No
home
homebrew.
brew. We are out. And then there's the whole part of the.
I know all the messing with everything.
Oh, we need a production team, Nathan. All right. Good night, man. Bye.